And then you've had other classes where it's like, oh, wow, these two great defensive linemen or edge rushers are going to be picks 1 and 2. Right. And then you're going to have a cornerback at 3 or 4. Like, we've had, some different flavors. So let's figure out what this one's going to be about. I'm going to start with this one from Todd McShay.
Zabel and Booker, who are going to probably go in the first round. We've got the 2 tight ends, maybe 3 with Mason Taylor at the very end coming out of LSU. We've got running backs. So it's going to be really interesting this year how teams are going to kind of have to throw that premium picks on premium positions out the window because you got to chase the talent.
I've used the term for this real quick, Ryan. It's just as a starters draft, not a stars draft. So your goal was to leave this draft with 3 or 4 starters, like solid starters. You do that, you did a good job. That's the goal.
Okay. There are kind of 2 takes in this one. One is it's a starters, not stars draft. And the other one that I really like is, look, forget looking at the first round as that's where you get your tackles, and, your quarterbacks, your edge rushers. There's really, really good tight ends and good running backs and, like, some great interior linemen. Like, maybe you forget using premium picks on premium talent and just go with the best guy.
That's a bar by Daniel. Mm-hmm. But, aren't you looking for starters? Like, no disrespect to the man, but it's like, yeah, that's a bar. I like the way he put that. But you go into the draft, especially in the first round, looking to get starters on your team. That's everyone's goal. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it'd be nice if you get out of here with 2 to 3 starters, guys you can see in the future, and then have some projects on the back end. But yeah, that's everyone's goal going into this thing. And last year was all about the offensive guy. We saw 3 quarterbacks drafted early. Then you go receiver, O-line, quarterback, receiver, quarterback, O-line, QB, tight end, O-line. And finally, with pick number 15, you get to defensive line. I think with this draft here, it's a bit different because you don't have the quarterback profiles that you had last year. So there's not going to be a big run on that. Every draft is a bit different. And this year, it sounds like running backs are going to be huge late and offensive tackles might be huge early. So now as a franchise, you have to decide what's our angle going to be. And I think it should be, unless you're going for a quarterback, just get the best player that's available. I think most teams are going to operate that way. Last year was quarterback crazy. This one is a bit different. So, yeah, I think that should be everyone's approach.
Yeah.
You want starters, especially in the first round, and go get the best guy available.
Let's keep it moving with this from Matt Miller. He calls it a good meat and potatoes draft.
Good. I think it's been oversold as a bad class. And I think that's based on where the perception was in December of this group. But then you have some true juniors like Armand Membo and Nick Eamon-Wari jump into the class, and that boosted up. And we have solid play in the college football playoffs from guys like Jalen Walker, Will Howard, the running backs from Ohio State. There's so many players continue to elevate their stock over the month of January. Then we get into the true pre-draft process of the Shrine Game, the Senior Bowl, the Combine, Pro Days. So I don't think this is a great blue chip draft. I only gave out 13 first-round grades. That's a little low. But this is a meat and potatoes draft. This is a really good year to get starters in round 2, round 3. It's a really good year to address your offensive line, your defensive line, running back.
Let me tell you what, Bump, when I think about the Seahawks, I don't think of like a perfectly finished cake that needs frosting. Mm-hmm. Like a team that is completely solid, A to Y, and then just needs to add on a blue chip player. I love more blue chip players here in Seattle. They are lacking for stars. But a meat and potatoes draft also sounds like something they can hit on and something they need.
Meat and potatoes draft, I think, is typically where the Seahawks shine, when you got to dig deep and find your type of guys, because like you just mentioned, there's only about 15 guys that he gave a first round kind of grade. Yeah, I think once you get past the first round, most people have to dig deep. Most people have to find a guy that does something a bit special that grabs your attention the way that it doesn't grab another organization, right? This is where you find your Rick Woolens, where you find your Boye Mafes, and you envision them in your offense and your defense or whatnot, and you say, okay, is this the type of player that we can develop, and how low is his floor, right? So when you start getting into the second, third, fourth round, everyone has the same mentality. Going into the first round, there's the quarterback teams, and there are the best guys available teams. And then the deeper you get, the more it's like, all right, can we develop a corner? We do need a corner. Mm-hmm. Let's see who the best corner is out there. That's the fun part about the draft, is that you might look at one player and evaluate him one way, and the other man or other team might just pass on him and say, look, that's not our guy. And that's why I love when you go into the draft rooms and you see guys get a pick in the 3rd round, and they are hyped. They're like, we got our guy. And there's another team like, I don't know what they see in this guy. Not so special. So one man's trash is another man's treasure.
I think that the cool thing about the draft is every single year it feels like, as someone covering the draft, maybe you watch the draft, you can learn something new. And there is something this year that, while I understood it to be a truth, maybe I didn't understand how much it factored into decision making for front offices. And that is drafting someone that you might need later. Now, yes, we've all played fantasy football. We understand the general concept of, adding a edge rusher because you've got a guy entering the final year of his deal and you don't know if you're going to pay him. Like, yeah, we all get the general idea of someone who doesn't provide immediate need, but who fills a gap that you will need because of financial constraints. But I didn't realize how much that was a thing for front offices. Matt Miller was talking about it quite a bit in terms of picking long-term projections. Chad Ryder.
I think a lot of fans tend to think that teams will always pick like their primary need. Like they're going to the grocery store and aisle 1 is wide receiver. So they're going to go through there and get a wide receiver in round 1. But really, teams really do try to take the best available player within reason of a need for the team. And the need might not even be for this upcoming season as much as the season after. That's really the GM's job, is to look 2 to 3 years down the road, even though they're fighting for their job every year. But really, they're taking a little bit more of a long term. So sometimes teams will take a guy in the first round, like an offensive tackle, even though they have 2 veterans that are expected to play. And I think teams do tend to take, especially those with GMs separate from owners, can take a little bit longer term look and are not necessarily focused on what other people think their biggest need is.
In terms of a longer term look, Bump, I was thinking of 3 positions with the Seahawks, though you could easily throw in another 1 or 2. Wide receiver. Grant, you've got 2 older veterans you brought in. I don't know that either is going to be here next year. I was also thinking about corner. What do you do with Reek Woolen? Do you kind of look to answer that question? And then edge rusher. I know you got young guys right now, but do you look to continue to build on that? When you think of a pick Seattle might make with the long-term projection in mind, what kind of pick do you think of?
I think you just said it. Wideouts because they're old in that position. Corners because Reek is going to want to get paid eventually. I think Spoon's going to be a guy they extend automatically. Then you're looking for the other corner over there. But you can honestly look at any position and say, all right, let's just shore this up. You can look at the offensive line and say, let's shore this up. Even the running back situation, right? They're going to draft a running back. I firmly believe they will draft a running back. You know how they do here in Seattle. You can look at the linebacker spot. There's no depth right there. It's just which position are you going to attack first? Like which one has priority? Because that's what the draft is. You can have a room full of DBs that you love already. You're still going to draft a DB. You're still going to have that just in case type situation. It's all about prioritizing that. And we'll find out real quickly what's the priority for these guys. If I am the Seahawks, and we get out that first round, and I'm looking for depth or that insurance, I'm looking at all the positions you just mentioned, man. I'm looking at wideout. I'm looking at corner. I'm even throwing linebacker in there because they're extremely thin at that position.
What about tackle? Because I've heard tackle quite a bit, and I always think, if Abe Lucas is healthy, they're both young.
Yeah, but as soon as you throw if in there, that's where
good point.
You start having to make sure that you're okay. I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a tackle. I think Abe is fine. When he's healthy, he's absolutely fine, but there are some people who just can't get right. I'm hoping that this is the year that he does. Like Tua. I'm looking at the situation over there with the Dolphins, and they're shipping out Jalen Ramsey. The GM says, look, you got to give me 2 first-round picks for Tyreek Hill. You're not going to get that. But I'm really looking at the quarterback position and saying, so what if you have those guys on the outside? If he's not ready to go because he has shown that he can't stay healthy, what are you going to do there? You're going to draft a quarterback? It's all about prioritizing what you think your needs are. It's your needs first, and then it's your, the just in case, and then there's your let's develop these guys type of deal. Everyone has their own kind of method to their madness, but at some point, each team is going to hit those categories.
What if for pick 18, if it was like, okay, prioritize all these categories of how you might choose someone, what's the number one thing you prioritize at 18? Talent or need?
Talent all day.
Yeah.
It's talent. It's your first pick, 18th pick. You got to go with talent. Best guy available.
Let's get to a little bit more here. I have 2 more. Matt Miller on the positions you typically want to draft in the first round.
I think you look at the franchise tag numbers and you start at the top: quarterback, left tackle, defensive end, wide receiver, and corner. Those are the money positions right now. And I think those are the positions where if you draft someone and you hit, you're saving so much money that it completely changes your franchise for 4 to 5 years. If you hit on a quarterback, we all know the value in that. Same if you hit on a left tackle, because those are few and far between. They're hard to find. As you guys know, you have a good one in Charles Cross, who is still on a rookie deal. You're saving a lot of money by having a good player at that position instead of having to pay the top end salaries. Wide receivers are making $40 million a year now. If you can find a starting wide receiver in the first round and not have to pay them for 3 to 4 years, you're saving yourself so much money that you can invest in other positions. So
any one of those positions you'd go with at 18. Quarterback, left tackle, corner, wide receiver,
who's available.
rusher.
It's such a hard question to answer because I have to look at what happens in front of these guys, right? If Abdul Carter's available at 18, I'm taking him. You know, Damon's not going to be there, right? It's like if Warren is available, I'm going to look at it. If Loveland is available, I'm going to look at it. If Amawari is available, I'm going to look at that. There are players that you're hoping slide and you react to the slide, or there are things that happen in front of you that are pretty solid that you expect, and you're still waiting. When you're at 18, there are 17 other opportunities for teams to either enhance what you want to do and leave your guy available, or jack up your whole process to where now you're going to the second, third, or fourth guy on your list. So it's hard to say, and I think even the Seahawks will say that they will sit at 18 and say, we think these guys are going to be available, but somebody might draft Warren higher than what they expected. Somebody might draft Booker higher than what they expected, and now you just have to pivot. So it's an impossible question to answer. Like once you get around, say like pick 14 or 15, and then I see who's available, then I can start narrowing down and say, all right, these are the guys they probably should go after.
Okay, what if I say it this way? You and I both agree there probably isn't going to be a quarterback that is worth taking at 18. Right? That like the quarterback you would take at 18 would be like the 50th best player available. You and I both look at tackle. There will be a run on tackles early and good tackles available, but do you necessarily need one? We heard Daniel Jeremiah this morning with Brock and Salk say there probably isn't an edge rusher at 18 better than what you have. So it's between wide receiver and corner. Wide receiver, you're going to see some first round talent at 18.
Yeah, for sure.
How tempted are you to go wide receiver?
I'll take a wide out.
Yeah. I'm asking a former wide receiver how tempted you are to go wide receiver, and I know what answer I'm going to get.
Even with bias aside, because you just look at that wide out room, we know what Marquez is going to bring to the table. He's not going to have a lot of receptions, not going to have a lot of yards, but that average is going to be up. At least that's what we think. We think we know what Cooper Kupp is going to bring to the table. Possession type of receiver, is going to play with some grit, and he's going to be able to block. But because Cooper Kupp is a veteran and he's been banged up, you're paying him what, 13 million, 10 to 13 million, something like that. You have to look cheaper. And if a guy like Matthew Golden is available, if a guy like McMillan is available at 18, you have to take a look. But then, what if Mimbu, the tackle out of Missouri, is available? What if James Pierce, the edge rusher out of Tennessee, is available? You're going to have to make tough decisions. But I think that if a wideout is available and you don't have a tight end that you like, you don't have a offensive lineman that you like, really it's just Booker and Mimbu to me. If those guys aren't there, I think you look at the wideout. Will Campbell as well.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Kraken season is mercifully over, but CEO Todd Lewicki confirmed GM Ron Francis will return next season. What's the real headline?
If the same front office is returning, is it really over?
It's just a vicious cycle.
I'm trying to figure out why they would bring him back. And they got a 2026 and 2027 first-round draft pick, a 2025 second-round draft pick in exchange for Oliver and Yanni Gord. Are they looking down the line and saying, we're going to give you another opportunity to build this up? Because it's the start of a franchise. And when you start a franchise, it doesn't always happen like the Las Vegas Knights and you make it to the Stanley Cup final, you do all that great stuff. Are they looking at this and saying, okay, that first collective collection of players didn't work. Let's allow you to reset this thing. Because at the end of the season, we knew it was over. And they will have some high draft picks in the near future. It's probably not the favorite it's not a fan favorite, obviously, to keep Ron Francis here because of what you've seen. Only one winning season. You've improved one win over the past couple seasons. But you got to start looking at the moves that they made and the relationship that Ron has with the ownership. Maybe they're resetting and giving this guy a chance. The worst thing that happened to the Kraken were them going to the playoffs that second year and getting everybody excited and getting ahead of expectations like the Mariners did in like 21, 22 and all that stuff. So people want results right now. Just looking at the moves they've made, I think they're looking at Ron and saying, all right, you got one more shot at this. We'll give you 2 or 3 more years to see what happens.
I completely agree with you in your point that context is probably what's keeping him here as opposed to actual results. There's no real farm system he's had to pull from. There's no pool of talent he inherited. And like you said, everyone had wisened up after the Knights expansion draft and approached it differently. You had fewer loopholes to exploit. That being said, this front office is not particularly aggressive. And they're not risk takers. And I know that for a lot of Seattle fans, that's an approach they're kind of tired of when it comes to front offices or whoever else. And I don't think this is surprising news, right? It certainly didn't sound like it for many covering the Kraken. Kate Shefte of the Seattle Times is joining us at 1:30, and we'll have all kinds of updates with this team, a check-in with her to see how things are going. And one of our questions will absolutely be, what's keeping Ron Francis here, and what optimism do we think ownership has that he can turn this around?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, the Mariners dropped their series opener last night to the Reds 8-4. What's the real headline?
Guys, I don't think relying on another Dylan Moore multi-home run game is going to be the path to victory.
It doesn't happen often.
I'm sorry to Dylan. I am sorry.
That ain't it. Dylan, great game, though.
Great game.
Did your thing. 2 bombs. The thing with Castillo is, look, we're only, 3-4 games in. He had his worst outing. And I'm looking at just his numbers, right? His hard hit is up. His K rate is down. The movement on his ball isn't the same. He's losing an inch there, losing an inch there. It just doesn't look the same. But then I have to go back and think, okay, well, at least Luis Castillo, he's 30-something years of age. And we know that sometimes he gets off to a slow start, and maybe he'll start to warm up. I was a bit concerned. I had an interesting conversation that we're going to talk about later with the guy watching the game. And it's still necessary that he is here. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, look, he's just warming up. I'm not going to say the phrase that we always say, but he's in his 30s. Sometimes it takes us a bit longer to get warmed up and start feeling good.
That conversation Bump is talking about, we're going to get to in about 10 minutes from now. So I hope he's keeping you on the edge of your seat. He'll tell us what he's talking about. What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, in his second time meeting with the media since trading Luka Doncic, Mavs GM Nico Harrison yesterday said he still has no regrets about the deal. What's the real headline?
It's so funny because the Bears just said they don't regret drafting Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes.
We'll do it all over again.
I don't regret getting bangs.
Oh, reflection is big. Reflection is big, man.
Stubborn reflection is better.
You got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I might have messed up here or there.
Yeah.
And he's just not able to do that. Again, another tease. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. But it wasn't just him making this decision. And I think that's important for people to realize. But you got to give the people what they want sometimes.
Yeah.
And all the people wanted was for him to say, you know what, in hindsight, or I can understand why people think this wasn't a good move. We have a plan for the future, and it just didn't include Luka. He's a great player. There's so many other ways to do this instead of just being so stubborn and standing so firm on something that is clearly not working out in your favor. It doesn't help that Kyrie blew out his ACL. That's huge. Who knows what position this team would be in? I think they would be in the playoffs if Kyrie didn't blow out his ACL. But a lot of things happened that were out of his control, but what was in his control was him to come out and just give the people what they want. Tell them that, you know what, I understand you. I understand your frustration, but trust us. You know, even though they're not going to trust you. So it's like, hey, just trust us. We have a plan here.
You can't lie to people about what they're seeing. Luka obviously succeeding with the Lakers, the Mavs struggling, AD got hurt, then they lost Kyrie. Like, it just went downhill. Like, you can't lie to people about what they're seeing. You're right. You got to go, I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but we believe in what we did. Give us time to show you what we have in mind. Like, don't tell them, no, you guys just don't get it.
Yeah. And now
you guys don't. Yeah. No, defense wins championships. And it's like, then where's your championship? Then where's your playoff
Y'all
run?
were just in the finals.
That's what I'm saying.
Just in the finals. And you broke the team up.
Superstardom wins championships. I know that we say defense wins championships in basically every sport. Like, we've heard it in the NFL. We always talk about it. Of course. But superstars win. Consistency, smart front office decisions, health, luck, all of that wins championships.
This is where if OKC wins the championship this year, now we can say defense wins championships. Because in a league where you're averaging 120 points per game, offense is going to win some championships. But OKC, when you look at all the defensive metrics and stats and stuff, they're number one everywhere. So if OKC is able to do this, one, you're going to have angry people here in Seattle.
Yeah.
And two, then you could say defense wins championships in the NBA, because I don't think it does anymore. I think you need 3 or 4 stops towards the end of the game to win a championship in the NBA. You can go 3 quarters and just go back and forth, back and forth. It's a bit different these days.
Will OKC do it? As a reminder, you guys have a couple play-in games today. Heat Bulls at 4:30. Mavs Kings at 7. Let's see when OKC.
Hey, Jimmy Butler went nuts
first
last
round
night
on the
too.
20th.
Jimmy went nuts last night. 38 points.
Yeah.
Steph had 33. They got the Rockets now. I think they'll get by the Rockets, but after that, it's all over for them. You need someone else to step up for Golden State, but it was fun watching
Who
Jimmy.
do you have out of the East and West?
Out of the East, I think Boston's going to get it done out the East.
Boring,
and then
but
out of
true.
the West, it's OKC or my Lakers.
I was going to say that's very humble.
It's
and then-
legit, though. I think they legit have a chance,
think,
but
yes.
OKC, they're the favorites
Fair.
for sure.
Curtis, what about you? Who do you have out of the East and West?
Out of the East, I mean,
could add a different pick to
the
make it
Cavs have
spicy.
the Cavs lack a true super duper star. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a great player, but I wouldn't put him on the same tier as Anthony Edwards or anything like that. Couple of teams I'm looking at in the Western Conference that might give OKC fits. I mean, Nikola Jokic, OKC doesn't have anybody that can bang with him down low. Again, Denver, though, having just fired their head coach, who knows if they're even, going to put up a fight here in the playoffs. But the Joker's really, really good. Out East, I mean, Boston seems like just the most put-together team out there. And obviously, being the defending champs, definitely a team that has the pedigree.
Remember when I thought Nuggets were named after chicken nuggets?
I think about that all the time. We talk about that.
What a time. A concerning trend with the Seattle starter that's coming your way next.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Next Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, the app, and your smart speaker.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Are you working in the refrigeration industry? Are you staying up on current regulations? Well, Local 32 can help advance your career. That's right. Learn more at ualocal32.com. Again, that's ualocal32.com.
Hey, it's Cliff Averill, inviting you to join me at Muckleshoot Casino Resort April 24th for the ultimate draft day viewing party. Yeah, we're teaming up with Seattle Sports to bring you all the excitement on draft night live. You'll get expert insight, exclusive prizes, and a chance to hang out with me and my boy Lofa Tatupu for a special Q&A. Whether you're a diehard Seahawks fan or just love some football, this is the place to be. So don't miss out. Join us for the big night at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Let's talk football, win some prizes, and enjoy the draft together.
Get up to $5,000 in local utility rebates, and Eastsiders save up to $6,000 with the Energy Smart Eastside program. Plus, Home Comfort Alliance is offering up to 10% off all heat pumps and air conditioning systems through April. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Guys, I'll never forget the first time I saw somebody get results at our clinic. He was an 81-year-old man who hadn't been intimate with his wife in over 8 years. Viagra had stopped working for him, and he was desperate for help. After several treatments, he walked into my office and told me he couldn't believe the results. Needless to say, this was a very happy man. This man made me a believer in what we do. He had taken pills for years, but he had never fixed the problem. When he came to us, we fixed the problem. Our treatment does what no pill can do. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today like the thousands of men who already have.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Bump, you were at Moonshine the other day. Someone was talking to you about Luis Castillo. What was going on?
Sitting there watching the game.
Minding your business.
Mind my business. It's on my way home. So that's why I mentioned Moonshine and in the cut shop, because those are my spots. I stop in Linwood or I keep going. I go to Woodinville and hit up cut shop. But I was at Moonshine, and this was before Luis was getting lit up. And we're sitting there, and one of the regulars, sits down, and he goes, "We should have traded him. Why is he still out there?" And at the time, I'm like, and I think I texted you guys that afterwards.
You did.
I took his material and texted you guys, and I'm like, he's fine right now. Like, what are you talking about? He goes, "We could have got something for him." I go, "Well, Kirby's not there right now. So imagine a rotation without Kirby and without Castillo right now. Emerson's going to be called up, Luis F. Castillo. Like, you want those guys on the back end of your rotation?" And he was like, "All right, man, you're making a point." Thankfully, he left. And then as soon as he left, Castillo just starts getting lit up.
Dang.
And I'm still sitting there thinking, well, the same argument I had to start the show with you, thinking to myself, well, he's an older guy. It takes him a little bit to get warmed up. And then I went and started looking at his numbers, and everything is down. The movement, the spin, the velocity, everything is down. And, you know, I'm 39. I'm almost 40. It takes me a while to get warmed up on the golf course, whether I'm shooting with my kids. It just takes a while. I think that's the approach I'm going to have with Castillo. But if we keep seeing this, because they put him out there for trade last year, right, during the offseason. If we keep seeing this, he has to be one of the guys who are on the market as far as trade. And it's not personal. I think he's still good enough to be a starter in this league, but it's business, because now you're relying on guys like Dylan Moore and Mastrobuoni to come to the plate and make things happen. And for the most part, they have been doing that. Demo with 2 bombs the other night, and then Mastrobuoni doing a good job getting on base. No RBIs or home runs yet, but you see what he's doing out there. If this continues, and it's crazy because we were just praising this team the other day, 4-game winning streak, just swept. We're good to go. But you see moments like this, and you're thinking to yourself, if Julio's not going to be the guy, not yet, right? He teased us a little bit, showed a little bit of glow, then kind of regressed a bit. And we're really going to depend on Demo. And if Castillo continues to regress the way that we've seen, he has to be one of the pieces you talk about when it comes to trade.
Now, to be fair, this was a team that initially looked like they had this game on lock.
Yeah.
Not like completely done, but took an early lead, built on the lead, and then things just absolutely fell apart. What was it, fifth or sixth? Yeah, fifth inning.
Yep.
Just absolutely falls apart. Gregory Santos then gives up 2 runs later, and that's what you give up. Now, on the flip side, the Reds are not a good offense. So this is not an offense that reared its head and you were like, oh, we knew we'd have to keep the Dodgers at bay. They're bad. I mean, they're kind of like you. Like the offense isn't great, super inconsistent, and we all thought this would be a pitching matchup. It would be low scoring and some great arms. Not necessarily what we saw yesterday. I will say this. In your defense, Bump, Jeff Passan had the exact same response when asked about why the Mariners aren't trading Luis Castillo and why he wasn't willing to explore a more recent rumor that a team checked in on Castillo.
I didn't bother making a call because just logically right now it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's too early, number one, for any trades to be happening. Number two, we have no idea what George Kirby's situation is. And I think the Mariners' willingness to move any starting pitcher is going to depend almost entirely on whether they can get Kirby back, get Kirby healthy, and get Kirby being Kirby. If they can, then it makes a little more sense. Without that, though, you're hamstringing yourself. You're putting yourself in a position where you haven't seen Brian Wu throw a full season, and that leaves you with Logan Gilbert and Bryce Miller and a big old shrug emoji with Kirby.
Michael Bumpus and Jeff Passan, both in the same boat, telling some guy at Moonshine to calm down. Just calm down. But how do you feel about this? Luke Arkins on X has a post that says, it's a small sample of 3 starts and 70 plate appearances, but Luis Castillo's expected stats look much worse than his actual numbers. Plus, swing and miss is down this year, and quality of contact barrel rate is noticeably up. So not only are we not seeing as good of production, but it could be even worse and maybe should be.
Yeah, it could be. And it could be him just showing the fatigue on his arm a little bit. He's 32, right? But last year we saw him 30 times. The year before that we saw him 33 times. I don't know what the math is, but the percentage is we're not close to him being in mid-season form. We hear that all the time, mid-season form, right? He's in It's in April. It's April, but he looks like he's in mid-season form. He's just not that right now.
Yeah.
He's not that. And you can't ignore the numbers, right? And those are projections. This is what we think is going to happen with him. This is what he's shown us so far. But 4 starts isn't enough for me to just want to throw Castillo to the curb and say, all right, that's it. But it is enough to start thinking about the possibilities. But just like Passan said, and I said, just because of your situation, your current situation with your rotation, you got to wait for Kirby to show up. And then you got to wait for Kirby to show up and show you that he's the Kirby that we know and love. And then you start thinking. And now you're hoping that Emerson is down in, where is he? He's in Tacoma right now. He's in Tacoma figuring his stuff out. You know, I was so disappointed that Emerson had the showing that he had because they were depending on him. I know he was the 5th guy in the rotation, but they were depending on him to hold it down for a bit until Kirby came back.
Is he, Curtis, am I misremembering? Is Emerson getting another shot?
It sounds like he's going to rejoin the team in the Toronto series.
What we saw yesterday.
There we go.
I think it was Daniel Kramer who said
thank
maybe keep an eye out for Emerson.
But you have no other options.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. So are you willing to, and it's so early in the season, just like Passan said, right? No one's making trades right now.
Yeah.
All right, give it a few months and figure some stuff out. Let's see him 3 or 4 more times before we start really diving into this. But you have to start preparing. And I think because of what we saw at Castillo, you look at his numbers, everything's down. And then you look at the performance that Hancock had. Now you're really looking like, okay, we need one of y'all to really step this thing up, or you could be in trouble.
From the 360, the big complaint last year was not supporting the pitchers. 4 runs should be enough for, quote, one of the best rotations of all time. In theory, yeah, I would never expect a club to surpass 8, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a bad pitching
And Luis
day.
gave up 6.
Yeah.
You know, and he left some hanging too, man. Like, there were some pitches that were just not very good.
That's a bad day.
Yeah.
It is a bad day, and I'm not expecting a club to give you 6 runs. Like, that would be an amazing offensive day, particularly for the Mariners. I think almost the way I look at it is, rather than, okay, how do you make your pitching elite again quickly, or what do you do about Luis? It's like, look, you are seeing early that you can't depend on your rotation to A, stay healthy. You've already lost Kirby for a little bit to start the year. Or B, be as great and consistent as they were last year. Yeah, they're all incredibly talented. You still have the best 1 through 5 in baseball once Kirby's up here. But you cannot entirely lean on that all eggs in the basket. If anything, you should feel a rush to add to the offense at the deadline and be like, well, how do we try to get 5 runs? How do we try to just add something else to make up for a start where Luis doesn't give us his best?
Their job at this point is to hang around. You just hang around, right? You're 2 games behind the Rangers right now in the division. The Angels got a half game on you. You hang around because you're hoping George Kirby comes back. He looks good, brash. And then let's not forget Victor Robles. We got to wait a long time for him.
Yeah.
But you hang around. We'll know when it's time to really make a move. And I think that right now we're just seeing the smoke before the fire, right? It's getting smoky over there at times.
Yeah.
Because just a few days ago we were loving this team. But when you look at Castillo and you know you have to rely on this rotation and he doesn't look like the guy that we've seen, it's cause for concern. But because of what's happening or what's not happening in the minors with your other pitchers, you got to ride this out.
I could be wrong. I still feel somewhat optimistic about this series. I think it's a tough road trip overall, but the Reds, again, not a good offense. They are turning to their pitchers, much like Seattle. And look, when you're basically playing yourself, like how Mariners fans might be feeling or should be is kind of probably how Rangers fans felt, where they're like, you let these guys put up 9 runs on you, put up 5 runs on you. Like, so with that in mind, I'm feeling okay. What do we got? Miller today on the mound and
and Woo tomorrow.
I'm feeling okay about these 2, Bump.
All right.
Feeling encouraged. All right. Bump's got 3 things he's ready to rant about this morning. You're going to hear him next.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
A couple of pre-draft visits this week. What are you seeing?
If I'm Sam Howell, I see that headline yesterday that Jalen Milroe is in town for a visit. I'm kind of looking over my shoulder like, this is going to be go time.
Every day at 7:45.
Milroe, for me, he's the most intriguing of that bunch because of that plus skill set. This is a deep draft. Not a lot of filet, but there's some really good sirloin. And in the middle rounds, there could be some sirloin at quarterback.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Bull riding, the perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. It's the PBR Tacoma at Tacoma Dome, Saturday, April 26th and Sunday, April 27th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster and PBR.com.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for a Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement. But you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare, side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through April 20th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $3,500 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Asset Roofing was founded with the aim of shielding the community from liabilities that may arise from hiring a contractor. Bob Stelton here, and I love their slogan. You're either hiring an asset or you're hiring a liability. Now, I've been there, and you probably have too. Hiring a contractor that showed up late, delivered shoddy work, or went over budget. Asset Roofing is the opposite of a bad contractor. Their business model is to deliver honest and transparent solutions, becoming a valuable asset for both clients and their communities. Now, I experienced it firsthand when I met Anthony, the owner, and then again when I had him do work on my roof. Now, these guys are the best in the business, and I highly recommend Asset Roofing to local homeowners. Now, this spring, replace your aging roof with Asset Roofing. Ask them about their specialty, metal roofs. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Check them out at assetroofingco.com. That's assetroofingco.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
Mike Salk here, and luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining and entertainment, and elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Plus, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel's award-winning outdoor summer concert series is back with amazing artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD. This summer, overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley, snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Every Wednesday at 10:45, one Michael Bumpus has 3 things grinding his gears, making him want to yell, "Hey kids, get off my lawn." So what 3 things are driving you crazy this week, Bump?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, the big one. The big one. Nico Harrison. Right, you hooked me up. You hooked my squad up. Lakers in 5, as Shannon Sharp says. I think it's going down. Maybe conference championship. I don't think we win the finals, though. But Nico Harrison hooked us up. And he comes out and he says he has no regrets on the trade. Now, why would he say this? And we're focusing on Nico, and as we should. You saw the Luka clip where he hits a 3 and he's looking at Nico, and Nico's looking at him back. I get all that. I think we're focusing on the wrong people, though. It's really the ownership. Marion Adelson, Patrick Dumont, Mark Cuban, let's not forget him, and Mary Stanton. The Addison Dumont family owns 69% of the team. Mark Cuban owns 27% of the team. Mary Stanton, she the homie. She 4%. She can't make no decision. Make no decision. Who is Miriam? She's a physician and she's a widow of a casino mogul. Right? She's the 5th richest woman in the world, and Patrick is her son-in-law. So in 2024, when this whole thing went down, we're thinking, why would Mark Cuban give up so much power? Why would he do that? And he comes out. He's still in control of basketball operations. Mark Cuban is in control of basketball operations. This is what he said. They're not basketball people. I'm not real estate people. They're in real estate. That's why I did it. I could have gotten more money from someone else. I've known these guys for a long time. They are good at the things I'm not good at. Mark Cuban is still in control of basketball operations, and what they did was send Nico out there and made it seem like he was responsible for this horrible trade, and now we're going after Nico. Go after these owners. Nico owns some of this for sure because he didn't do a good job or a good enough job convincing these guys that was a horrible trade. But we're firing at Nico, and he's going out in the public, and the owners are just chilling. Owners chilling in their suites. They're chilling on the sideline and not saying anything. And we're letting Mark Cuban go. His official title, basketball operations. He is control of all that, basketball operations, right? So he has a big voice in all this. So, Nico, you come out and you handle this thing horribly, but word on the street is that the ownership asked him to come out and do this, right? And then you get into this situation. You don't let national media in the room. Eventually, you negotiate and people are allowed to record what you're saying. You don't want cameras on you because you don't want people to see your face when you put out this, this BS. So, listen, we should be going at Nico. But we should be going at these dang owners. The owners did this to you. Mavericks fans, the owners did this to you. Nico's taking all the bullets. Nico's getting paid $5 million a year. He needs 10 for this. Get that man $10 million a year because y'all put him out there in front of the public and everyone's going at him. These are the names. Miriam Addison, Patrick Dumont, Mark Cuban, Mary Stanton, she cool. 4% owner,
You know what I mean? She just gets coffee.
She cool. She gets her money. But yeah, man, I look, our energy needs to be shifted. Nico already got his. Now go after these dang owners.
What's next?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, next up, another Nico. It's Nico Wednesday. Nico, the one from Tennessee this time.
Okay.
The quarterback from Tennessee.
Spelled the same, too.
Yep. So when he was in high school, I actually got a chance to watch him play in high school. He played against my high school team. I was doing a UCLA game, went down to Warren, saw him play. Dude was crazy. So his initial deal, he was getting $350,000 up front. Right, and he was going to get paid as a senior in high school. He was going to get $8 million over 4 years.
That's crazy.
The state stepped in and said, too much. All right, can't do that too much. So then he got a deal to where on his final year of his deal, I'm doing deal with air quotes because it's not a deal, it's like an agreement. He's getting $2.2 million. Now he's asking for $4 million. It is his right to ask for whatever he wants. But then I go, Nico, 19 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 0 touchdowns against Georgia, 0 touchdowns against Florida, 0 touchdowns against Arkansas, 1 touchdown versus Kim. Does that sound like $4 million to me? So I'm looking at Nico and I'm saying, why are you doing this? And then you do some research. He got his uncle who won $40,000. He has his mom who wants to buy a house. They're putting so much pressure on this young man to get more so they can get more that he went and did a horrible deal, and now he's in the transfer portal. Who knows where he's going to go? Maybe he gets the money that he wants. But 2 things that bother me. One, the families. Families, y'all got to chill, man. Let this young man stash that money. Y'all live off of your own salary. When he gets to the NFL and he gets a $20 million signing bonus, that's where you come in and you start asking for what you're asking for. And 2, this is why we need contracts. My man tossed 19 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and he's asking for $4 million. $4 million. Come on, man. There are better quarterbacks out there. I think Nico's going to be fine. I think he's going to develop. I think he'll be an NFL prospect. But this thing is getting so crazy, and I'm happy that the Tennessee head coach said, nah. Said, nah, man, this is not how we're going to do it. We got to keep this team aspect. But I blame the family, all right? And I blame NCAA for still not coming up with some contracts. You got to have contracts, or this is going to keep happening because someone's going to see him throw a football from one hash to the other sideline and say, yeah, we'll give him that $4 million. And then he'll get to your university. Hopefully he doesn't disappoint, but most likely he will because most athletes don't live up to what you think they're going to be, and you're going to be frustrated. So this is sloppy. The family, NCAA, y'all got to fix this, man, because this young man, Nico, is under some pressure, and he's providing for everybody right now. I can guarantee you that.
I think that family angle is so interesting, and normally I'm like, well, I don't know, but everything I saw was like, look, whoever is his agent is giving him bad advice. He's getting bad advice from his agent. And when you mention the family member, you just think like each one of those family members by themselves holds more sway than an agent this kid met a year or 2 ago, much less when it's 2, 3, 4, 5 family members. What are you going to do if you're the agent? And the family members are saying, no, you have to do this. Who's going to be impacting and influencing that player more? Family.
Right.
Dang.
Come on, Nico.
Come on. What's last?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Last one. All right, so I go to tournaments all the time. My kids play basketball, soccer, golf, and I'm always willing to help the kids. Bump love the kids, okay? I love the kids. And the kids come around, and they're like, sir, would you like to join this or get tickets for this raffle? I'm like, all right, what can I win or whatnot? Oh, you can win this, win that, the other. And I pull out my card, and they say cash only. Why are you sending these kids around asking for cash? Nobody carry cash anymore. No. So I went and watched them go to like 10 to 12 different parents, and no one carries cash. So you're setting these kids up for failure. Cash only should never be an option. All right, it should be card or cash. All right, some people carry cash. I don't carry cash like that. I probably got $1 on me right now. Everything is digital, and I feel so bad turning down these kids and saying, look, I don't carry cash. And I tell them, look, go to whoever's setting this up and make sure y'all got QR codes or something I can Venmo you.
Thing.
Anything. But setting these kids up for failure, and I felt so bad because it happened 3 times this past weekend, and I go, I don't have any cash. You have any other options? No, we don't have any other options. So then that tells me your parents might be stashing this. It ain't really for the raffle.
Also,
it ain't for the kids.
No.
Why you stashing 10%? Because government ain't going to find 10%.
And where's your change coming from?
Exactly.
You're telling me that you're going around asking for cash. How much was it? Do you remember?
It was on like 10, 15 bucks.
Okay, let's say it's like 15. You know how many people are going to give you a 20? Or if it's, I don't know if it's 10, people are probably still going to give you a 20. Where's my change back? You aren't going to have enough change for that. I don't believe this. I don't believe this conspiracy theory.
I told the kids, I go, walk up to the oldest person you see and maybe they have cash.
Yeah, that's good advice.
And then they walked up to this like 50-year-old man, looks anywhere between 50 and 60. He didn't have cash.
Well, and he's living in a different time, so he's like $20. That could buy me a car.
So listen, parents, stop setting these kids up for failures at these tournaments.
What's going on?
Going for raffles. No one carries cash anymore. Cash only should not be an option.
Should we actually be concerned about Luis Castillo? What should we take away from Seattle's offense following a run of wins against the AL West? And how winnable is the American League this year? We're taking a look around baseball with Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman next.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike Macdonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on Draft Day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Next Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, the app, and your smart speaker.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found at G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, well, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just the bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. You can with Orchard. Listen to this. Orchard puts cash right in your pocket so you can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Let's review. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday number 1. You buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom! Payday number 2. Learn how much you could make with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's orchard.com. Orchard.com.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Checking in on today's matinee MLB scoreboard. Blue Jays up 1-0 over the Braves. Brewers up 2-0 over the Tigers. Mets and Twins, nothing there. 5 hits between the two teams. Astros up 1-0 over the Cardinals.
Snapshot. Brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Talking Mariners, taking a look around baseball with Yahoo Sports. Jordan Shusterman joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Jordan. Happy Wednesday. How's it going?
Hey, guys. Always a pleasure to be on. What's going on?
We are, well, Jordan, I'm disappointed. Here I was thinking that this series opener between the Mariners and Reds would be all pitching, no offense. And instead, the Mariners saw their runs doubled, fell to a not very good Reds offense. What'd you see from Luis Castillo? What'd you see in this opener?
Yeah, the timing here, I know when we spoke last week, it was coming off those Astros games, but then it started to look really good, and then they had the sweep, and things are feeling good, and then going into this week, Cincinnati, they should be able to, score more runs than the Reds, and that was not happening on that opener. Yeah, Castillo's a tough one, a weird one. He certainly has not been as sharp as you might hope coming in at this point in the season. Obviously, that's a guy, he throws a lot of fastballs, and so when his command is not quite on it, even so far this year, we really have not seen him lean as much on the slider and changeup. I don't know if that's something. It's just a small sample. We'll see how that adjusts. But in that ballpark, if your command's not on, you're going to run into some trouble. But as you mentioned, the Reds' offense, while it is now healthier than it was even 2 days ago with some of the additions back in the lineup, I think that is an important part of this. But it is still a disappointing result for the opener for sure.
Are you surprised with Demo's production? I mean, we always see him do a little bit of everything, but it seems like he's been leading the charge, for like 2 or 3 game stretches. What have you seen out of him? Are you surprised?
Yeah, man, it's pretty wild how long we've been kind of watching Dylan Moore do this. Quietly one of the longest tenured members of the team, and we've seen him fluctuate in all these different roles and different levels of production where it's like, okay, he's the perfect utility guy. You don't want him playing every day, but then here you go. You put him leadoff and he hits 2 home runs. He's a very fickle player. He certainly brings a lot to the table. He has these offensive outbursts. I certainly don't think he's suddenly this perfect leadoff solution, but I don't know, with the state of the offense right now, maybe they do just ride the hot hand. It's always cool to see him succeed. Jordan,
unfortunately, I will have a version of a Julio check-in every single time we talk to you, or Bump will, because he is the most important player on this team. He has gotten off to, I guess, a hotter start in terms of home run totals than he ever has in his career. But what are you seeing from Rodriguez?
Yeah. Well, I believe he did. I know Bump asked about last week, like, oh, when's he going to get that big hit? I think it was that night he got that big hit. But again, when you're Julio, you're going to be kind of counted on basically every game to be one of those main engines for the offense, and it has still largely been inconsistent. So in that sense, I think you're still kind of looking at some of the same struggles. He's still someone that is going to chase. But I don't know, relative to recent seasons, I still feel like he has shown a relatively balanced approach and has produced in a fairly consistent manner relative to not just him in previous seasons, but to the rest of the lineup. He has come up pretty big so far a couple times this year.
How important is it for the Mariners to find that arm? Because we were talking about Castillo, and I told a story about a guy. I'm sitting at the bar, and he's yelling, "We should have traded Castillo." And I go, "Who?" And have the other Castillo and Hancock at the back of this rotation. But we understand the situation that they are in. So how important is it that an Emerson Hancock kind of starts to show up and help this team out?
I have to imagine that Logan Evans is going to factor into this conversation too at some point with the way he's been throwing the ball, just because I think that, their willingness to call up Williamson, right? I mean, that exhibits a level of aggressiveness and urgency and trust in your young players that they're going to give a shot there. And if Logan Evans, they feel like, is built up, I would not be surprised if he gets a turn through the rotation soon. But I think it's a fair question. I think we also have to keep things, in perspective, where a lot of teams would love to have Logan Gilbert, Bryce Miller, and Brian Wu. Just cut it off there. And Castillo's someone that I think you were hoping to get more consistency from this year, and I think he can still work through that. But to your point, whether it's Evans, whether it's Hancock, whether it's the other Luis Castillo, the depth isn't really there right now. And I know the bullpen showed up a little bit better over the last week than it did, when we talked a week ago. At the same time, that's that push and pull is, if you aren't going to have this flawless rotation as you did a year ago, which I think we're learning they don't, still a very good group, you're going to have either other relievers step up or starters that you weren't expecting to count on.
All right. We will get back to Seattle and get back to the Mariners. But while we have you, Jordan, let's take a look around baseball. I'm going to go to the Padres' best record in MLB right now. And look, while it's always interesting to watch a team like the Dodgers, succeed, there's something about small market teams. I know the Padres have spent, but small market teams where I'm always like, come on, get it done. And especially the Padres, who have just kind of run into the wall that is the NL West. What are you seeing from this club? Just electric atmospheres.
Yeah. It's going about as well as you could hope when you consider that they're still pretty injured, right? The fact that they're missing Jackson Merrill and they're relying on this army of NRIs that I've been referring to on our podcast, like, Jose Iglesias has given them some magic. They got Gavin Sheets kind of enjoying something of a renaissance now that he's not on the White Sox anymore, but they are still largely built on the mound. With their high-end talent right now, the way that Michael King has really emerged as a front-end guy, the way that Dylan Cease has been capable of being a front-end guy, and then this bullpen is spectacular. And I think the bullpen is what we were really counting on coming into the year, and that's even with Tanner Scott going to their rival Dodgers. But that is where they are really making their money. And with that plus Tatis, coming for MVP, it's a pretty good recipe when you consider it's obviously working with their record and how good they've been at home. But I agree with you. It's a really fun team to root for, and watching them succeed in San Diego in particular is pretty cool.
Who's been the best hitter in the game? You can lean on the big names or whatnot, but when you look at some numbers, there are some names popping up there that I wasn't expecting to be up there. Who do you think is the best hitter in the game as of today, April 16th, 2025?
Yeah. So I don't think Judge has done anything to lose that crown, but it has been really cool to see the likes of Tatis, see what Corbin Carroll has been doing in the start of this season. This is a player who, coming into last year, we had him on right there with his fellow Rookie of the Year, Gunnar Henderson, and it felt like, all right, these two are going to be two of the best players in baseball for years to come. And Carroll was bad for 2 months while Gunnar Henderson goes on and has this MVP caliber season. But Carroll was awesome over the last 2 months, and he has carried that over. I believe he's leading baseball in F4 right now, or I think he's tied with Aaron Judge. That's really impressive, seeing what him and Tatis have been able to do. And then, man, how about Pete Alonso? I mean, this is a guy who I was saying all winter, like, why are we overthinking this? Of course, in a Mariners context, but there are all kinds of teams that could have used Pete Alonso, and for whatever reason, it was just the Mets were the only team that were willing to I would say, pony up, but they really didn't even give him that much money, and they're certainly reaping the benefits of a very motivated Pete, who I'm sure wants to get back out to the market this winter and make a little bit more.
Random question. This is from a guy who couldn't hit a curveball in high school, so I stopped playing baseball. Is there a certain body type that you feel like creates the better hitters? Because you look at Aaron Judge, it makes no sense to me. It does make sense once he makes contact, that ball's going to go, but he's so massive, it feels like there's a lot more room for error. Or is it just, look, if you have a good swing, like golf, you have a good swing, you have a good swing, and just square it up?
That's a great point, and it's something that, because Judge has kind of been in our baseball lives for so long, we just take it for granted that he's enormous. Like most players that big, it does take a while, although it's worth noting that, like, it did take Judge a while. I mean, he wasn't a rookie until he was 26, 27, and he didn't, obviously this rookie year was great, but he wasn't like some of these other players that we see debut at 20 and 21. And yes, that's because he went to college, but even in the minor leagues, it took him a while to find what worked for him. And then obviously, since then, he has leveraged his immense size and strength into becoming the most feared hitter in baseball. But you look across some of these other guys, they are more lithe, more athletic, whether it is a Corbin Carroll, who's not a big dude at all. Tatis and Bobby Witt are a little more along the lines of kind of that prototypical awesome all-around athlete that you would want to see. But we've seen unique body type. I mean, listen, Mike Trout looks more like a football player than a baseball player, and he was the best hitter in baseball for 10 years. So oftentimes the outliers kind of rise above, and I think Aaron Judge is the best example of that right now.
I'm going in the opposite direction, Jordan. If you were to put a team in timeout, give them a cone of shame on which to put on their head because you have been so disappointed either with the start of their season, or maybe it's like the Pirates and you go, you know what you did. You know what you were signing up for and you didn't change it. Who's most likely to be wearing that cone of shame for you right now?
So, great question. It's very easy to pick on the teams that we were pretty sure were going to be bad and have been bad, whether that's the Rockies, whether that is the Pirates. I'm going to put a little bit of a spotlight on Minnesota. Okay. Minnesota is a team, probably one of the least, maybe the least active, or certainly bottom three. I know Mariners fans think, oh, how could you possibly do less than what the Mariners did? And yes, obviously Seattle was in that bottom group as well. Yeah. But the way Minnesota's been playing, the way that their attendance has sunk to basically target field history lows. I understand it's also cold and not the best time to go see a ball game in April in Minnesota, but that says to me how the fans are reacting for how disappointing last season was, and then to not do anything to react to it over the offseason. You have this weird cloud hanging over the franchise in terms of the ownership situation where they're trying to sell. They thought they were going to sell, but then they weren't able to, and now they're just kind of in limbo, still looking for someone to buy the team. The vibes I'm getting out of Minnesota are not good. And when you look at the projection systems in a weak AL Central, which again is stronger than it has been in years past, the projection system still like Minnesota to have a really good chance to compete in this division. And so far, that is looking like another fourth place finish as it was a year ago. And that is really disappointing when you consider kind of their contention window over the last half decade.
We were looking at the AL West yesterday and just the run differential, and everyone is in the negative. And, you know, you go to National League and see a bunch of green over there. And it gives me hope because I'm thinking to myself, okay, just be a scrappy team, Mariners. Hang around for a while, get healthy, and things could happen. Should that be the approach? Do you like the state of the AL West? Does that help the Mariners in their journey to just trying to win more ball games?
100%. I think I said that a week ago, and I think that that's held true. When you see the Rangers, it was funny to see the Angels had won their first 4 series and still weren't in first place because the Rangers had a slightly better record, but the Rangers have, tied with the A's for the worst run differential, and their problems on the mound have been started to be exposed, right? We haven't seen the Jacob deGrom that we've expected. And as I've said about the Angels, they simply do not deserve the benefit of the doubt until they clinch. And then the Astros, if we learned anything from last year, it'd be foolish to count them out. So yeah, this might end up being an AL Central style slog, not like last year where they kind of broke out, but very, very different teams. And the A's aren't that far back, although I think they're just so undermanned on the mound that it's going to be hard to see them be able to keep up, even though they certainly have a lot of exciting things happening on the offensive side of things. So yeah, at this stage, I think that's why Seattle is going to remain right in it. And you could say this was true even last year, right? I mean, they were still in it towards the very end because all these teams turned out to be pretty flawed.
I'm going to go back to your point about Minnesota being really inactive in the winter and you mentioning, look, I know Mariners fans are thinking they were, but Minnesota was even worse. And I find myself doing this, like, is the grass greener exercise all the time with the Mariners because they are so frustratingly in the middle. I wouldn't want to be the White Sox. I would not want to be an A's fan, right? Dealing with all the relocation and feeling betrayed, by ownership. I would not want to be a Rockies fan right now. I would not want to be a Pirates fan. And yet there's something especially frustrating about being so close and then either stubbornly or unknowingly, I have no idea, not taking that extra step. How do you view Mariners fandom right now, the experience of being a Mariners fan? Because, I mean, I'm looking at Bump's last question about a very winnable AL West, and I'm thinking, God, you have the best rotation in the AL West. You have someone who could be MVP if he's able to turn it on a little more consistently. Like, being that close almost adds a different kind of frustration.
Yeah, it goes both ways, right? And I think that's kind of the discussion around them being in the middle and being so passive or unwilling to kind of push and make the aggressive move, at least from a spending side of things in free agency, is that opportunity appears to be there. And so, on the one hand, as we know, part of the problem with this discourse is the notion that, well, maybe you don't have to spend all that money and you can still win the division. And that's not a fun way to think. But obviously in this division, it has maybe fostered that. We've seen it clearly in the Central, in both Central divisions, that you've seen teams in those divisions that have been very easy to kind of sit back and be like, why would we spend that much more than our opponents? At the same time, I think it's an interesting contrast when you look in the West. And in the West and the East, specifically in the NL West and the AL East, you look at teams like Toronto, who have been very disappointing, and they keep push, spend. You look in the NL West, you see that the Giants and D-backs are recognizing, hey, wait a minute, if we have any chance of keeping up with San Diego and LA, we're going to have to spend as well. So it's kind of mirroring the rest of the division's activity. And even Texas was a little bit more aggressive. The Angels have kind of gone up and down, but Houston, they've been doing more cost cutting than necessarily pushing financially. So unfortunately, I think that's kind of where they find themselves. And there's a lot of teams in baseball that end up just mirroring what the teams in their division are willing to do. And I think that's part of what we've seen with Seattle.
Hey, what were your initial thoughts on the Guerrero deal? $500 million. I've heard some people say, look, that's not enough. I heard people say that's too much. I don't think he's hit a bomb so far this year. How's that playing out? What'd you think?
I'm number one Vlad fan. I was saying 2 years ago, give him the blank check, because I just thought that where the Blue Jays were as a franchise, facing his free agency, facing Bichette's free agency, and that's still a big question for them, they had to do it to keep this window open, to feel like you have something that you're building around. There are still a lot of questions about the roster construction of the Blue Jays, but they have spent these past few years chasing these external options in free agency, whether it is an Ohtani, a Soto, some of these pitchers, Max Fried, Corbin Burns. They try to go after Roki Sasaki. You have the guy right there. You have the guy that was born in Canada, that loves being a Blue Jay, that wants to be a Blue Jay for life. And yes, there was a back and forth in the negotiation, as there should be for someone of his talent at his age who is that close to free agency. But I think that they were able to get a deal done speaks to how badly both sides really wanted this to happen. And I'm glad that it's happened. And to the point of him not having a home run, I would say yes, in the context that is concerning. But you look at the underlying stuff, he's still crushing the ball. He's still having good swing decisions. He's on the verge of a big hot streak, I have no doubt.
He is Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. Jordan, if fans want to find more from you this week heading into next Wednesday, where can they find it?
Baseball Barbacast, our episode today talked about Aaron Judge being named the captain of Team USA. We picked our dream teams for the 2026 WBC Team USA. Jake and I compared notes there. So give a listen to that. And spoiler alert, Cal Raleigh is the catcher.
I was going to ask.
We like it, Jordan.
Come on, of course.
Again, Baseball Barbacast. Rate, review, subscribe, find it wherever you get your podcasts. He is Jordan Shusterman. Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, guys.
As a reminder, Jordan is on with us every single Wednesday at 11. Let's get to 4 Down Territory.
This is 4 Down Territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what contending team must find ways to keep the band together? And do you think they will?
Yeah, they got to keep this band together. And I'm talking about the Baltimore Ravens because Lamar has an extension coming up. You know he's going to get more money. And then you have an extension for Henry coming up. He signed a 2-year deal, but it's time to extend that man. He's getting paid $6 million in 2025. Barkley's getting paid $20 million. McCaffrey's getting 19. Taylor's getting 14. Kamara's getting 12. Jacobs is getting 12. He's in a weird position because he's older, but he has more production than Jacob, Kamara, Taylor, and McCaffrey. They're not going to give him $19 million. Older but gooder.
He's older but gooder.
Older but gooder. So I'm thinking he needs to get around $10 million, right? But they also need to work out some other stuff. You got Kyle Hamilton, who was up for an extension as well, one of the best safeties in the league. And then their center is up for grabs as well. They got some things to work out, and the cap space isn't great. But I'm looking at the Baltimore Ravens, and you have to figure this out. You got to find a way to keep everybody happy and keep the band together. The biggest concern is how long do you extend Henry? He's 31, something like that. He's put in some good years, some good miles in his league, but he rushed for 1,900 yards last year. You got to pay him. How much, how long? They got some work to do, but I think they'll be all right.
Second down. What's a stat that will determine how good the offense will be for the Seahawks?
It's about the big plays, big running plays. Last year, and I'm talking about Ken Walker specifically, last year he had 4 big run plays. So those are rush yards or rush plays over 20 yards. In 2023, he had 7. In 2022, he had 10. Now, he missed some games this year. I understand that. But a great indication of if your run game is really popping is if you break the big one, because you can rush and have a 2-yard gain, a 3-yard gain, a 4-yard gain. Then, boom, you need the big ones. His rookie year, he did a lot of improvising, right? Running to the left and then going back to the right and doing all that good stuff. I think if he can be disciplined in this outside zone type of scheme, there can be some big plays. Because once you create those big plays, now the defense has to pay attention a bit more. The linebackers are stepping up. The play action is going to work a bit more for you. So it's all about the explosive plays. 4 last year, 7 in 23, 10 in 22. You got to get back up to the 7 to 10 range, and that tells me that the offense is going. The pass game is going to open up, but we all know it takes a lineman, it takes tight ends blocking, it takes the right play call. Lots of stuff needs to happen, but the easy way to identify, just look at those big plays and see how many he has.
It takes potatoes, tomatoes. Third down. Let's talk Jackson Smith-Njigba. How can he show he's a #1 wide receiver without putting up monster receiving yards?
My concern with Jackson is that the yardage might go down a little bit. I know a couple weeks ago I said, oh, no, he's going to go for 1,200, and then
So you lied.
I'm going back. At the time I believed him. But then after a further review, I go back and I look at him and look at who's around him and how this offense is going to be called. And he can still have a big year, but that's not going to be a great indicator for me. I'm looking at just his catch percentages, right? He caught 73% of the footballs thrown to him, which is great. Best in the league, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 81%. You got Godwin at 80%, and then Thielen at 77%. But they didn't have the targets that Jason had last year. He had 137 targets. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 141 targets. Next up is Khalil Shakir. He had 100 targets. He caught 76%. If he can be over 100 targets and catching 75% of the footballs, that means things are connecting. So now you add the explosive plays I just talked about. You need about 7 to 10 with the catch rate with JSN. That means everything is flowing. It gives him an opportunity to have the big season that I want him to have and I think he can have. But most importantly, first downs, catch radius, and touchdowns. I'm not going to be too concerned about the yards because you still got Cooper Kupp who can help out and Marquez who can stretch the field out. It might look different, so I'm just zoning in on the catch percentage. Let's get that, keep that around 75, and I think he's good.
Fourth down. Whose development on the coaching staff is crucial this year and why?
AD. And dirty.
And dirty.
And dirty. He's got to do it. And the reason why he has to is because I want Mike McDonald to be able to float around during practice. I want him to be able to float around during the team meetings, go check on the offense, go check on the defense, sit in on the special teams, because I believe in what he's creating. And I think that you need him to be involved as much as possible. He's not just sitting back and not checking in on the offense and doing all that good stuff, but he's primarily on the defensive side. The coaches are checking in with him, and maybe he leaves the meeting room and lets AD do his thing, and now he's checking on the offense. But I want him to oversee everything at all times because I feel like this is a crucial part. You got a new crucial part in his coaching development. You got a new offensive coordinator. You're training a defensive coordinator. I just want his fingerprints everywhere. So AD, I don't think he's calling plays this year. Mike McDonald said he's still calling plays. But at some point, either next year or maybe at the end of this year, I hope Mike McDonald's comfortable saying, all right, AD, you do your thing. Let me go float.
I do wonder how soon that role changes, because even when Mike McDonald was talking about play calling duties and when they hired Aden Daddy, he probably gets so tired of people doing that. I think, if I remember correctly, Mike McDonald at the time talked about how, like, I'm not permanently going to be play caller.
Yeah.
Like, eventually we want to transition those duties, but he's got to mold the clay and then hand off the vase to someone else. And but yeah, I do wonder, is that suddenly Aden's calling plays, or is that we see a couple plays, we see Aden kind of taking over duties for certain parts of games. Like, I wonder what that transition looks like.
Right.
I have to think it's smooth. It's not going to be like, all right, you got it. You got it, Aden.
I would assume, Mike McDonald knows how the game is supposed to be called and the flow of it. And I'm sure during preseason, he's going to hand the headset over to AD and say, all right, man, you call this series or call this game. And once he feels confident enough to where he doesn't have to be on the mic constantly checking in on him, he'll give the reins over to AD. So we'll see how soon that happens.
Good and bad news for the Kraken coming up in the timeline. Plus, did we just get an NFL draft spoiler? That's next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
The number 9 draft profile, the tight end, Colson Loveland.
There is no struggle as a pass catcher. This may be, that he may turn out to be, that next great NFL tight end. Because of this system, tight ends are going to be so unbelievably valuable. When you got a unicorn, and he would be a unicorn sitting there, there's a possibility.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. So one of my favorite customers I've ever had, he came in and had a really bad experience with several different dealerships. He just lost his husband. His husband left him with a truck, and he was like, I don't need a truck. Like, this is so impractical for me. And it was a really emotional decision for him because it was one of the last things that he had, obviously husbands. We were like, it's no problem. Like, we're going to help you. And we did the process the same way that we always do the process. And we helped him trade in his truck for a beautiful new Rogue. And that was really cool. And he bought his second car from us. And I'm sure when he needs a third car, he'll come back and buy his third car from Nissan too. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff.
Making a great day for the people around you is making a great day for yourself. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
A limited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more. And as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code GROW. swishradio.com, code GROW.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Bull riding. The perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes. They're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the PBR Tacoma at Tacoma Dome, Saturday, April 26th and Sunday, April 27th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster and PBR.com. Hold on tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
4 Down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Ladies, and you guys too, have you noticed visible signs of aging, those deep wrinkles, fine lines, and facial creases stealing your youthful glow? Sagging skin, crow's feet, and loss of facial contour are all natural effects of aging, but you no longer have to let them define your appearance. Introducing the new Skin Lift, the groundbreaking facelift led by Dr. Brian Scott. The advanced new Skin Lift addresses key signs of facial aging for women and men, restoring natural youthful contours. Whether it's replenishing volume lost over time or lifting the skin to smooth out those creases, the new Skin Lift can help you look 10 to 20 years younger with both surgical and non-surgical options. It's Hollywood's best kept secret and now available to you. Get a free consultation and save $250 off your new skin facelift. Schedule at newskinlift.com or 206-222-1225. Look 10 to 20 years younger and restore your youthful appearance with the new skin facelift. newskinlift.com.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. You can with Orchard. Listen to this. Orchard puts cash right in your pocket so you can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Let's review. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday number 1. You buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom! Payday number 2. Learn how much you could make with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Look, we were going to save this for noon, but Bump is being incredibly impatient.
He's got his head on a swivel.
He's got his head on a swivel,
For real?
bro. So something was brought to my attention, and it has to do with workplace etiquette. And it's one of those like under the radar workplace etiquettes, like leaving dirty dishes in the sink.
Everyone does that.
You're supposed to put them in the dishwasher.
Okay, tell the other 25 people.
Well, if they jumped off a cliff, would you jump off a cliff?
Nah, but I only got so much time in between. Anyway,
But this
let's
isn't
go.
even what we're talking
Let's
about.
go.
Wow, okay.
Let's
Leaving
go.
dirty dishes in the sink. Eating someone else's food from the fridge.
Never done that.
Leaving the downstairs shower, which is like a employee, like, you work out, you can shower, messy.
Nah, don't do that.
Trimming your beard and leaving beard hairs in the sink.
Oh, I cleaned it up.
No,
I didn't clean it up.
No, you didn't.
He admits it.
Okay, listen.
What? I cleaned it up.
Bump, did you? Did you?
I literally did it today and wiped it and everything.
I think there's some soldiers getting left behind.
Well, you guys, what does the hair look like, though?
It's black.
I mean, yeah.
I literally just went out, and I forgot who it was, but he was in there before me. He has black hair.
Okay, well, so this is the thing. Yesterday it was brought to my attention by one Kyle Brown that someone, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to set up, I don't know, it's inappropriate to set up, obviously, a camera, but maybe outside of the room, and I'll narrow it down. I'm going to go full True Detective on
I think
this.
there is a camera in that hallway.
Well, I need to contact security. So there is in our building a single-use shower, bathroom, and it's for people that maybe you bike to work, you work out in the morning, you pop down there. There's lockers and stuff. Anyways, so you're supposed to be able to shower, freshen up before your job. Not many people use it. In fact,
I've seen 5.
I think about 5 people use it, and I think all of them are men.
I haven't seen a woman in there, no.
And it's you, I think Kyle, Brian, who is a PD
Cairo
here,
FM, yeah.
Cairo FM PD, and maybe one other guy. One of the 4 of you is leaving beard hairs in the sink, and we don't know who it is.
Here's the thing.
So do you want to state your case?
Am I perfect? No. I might have left a few there before. I might have left. But I purposely, after I'm done, I take the rag, I wipe it down. I try to make sure I clean up. So I will say that I've probably left some before because I might have missed something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't just clean up and then be like, next
Yeah.
guy's problem. I don't do that.
No, what I think it might be is either it is you, and maybe one day you were in a hurry or 2 days you were in a hurry, and then Kyle happened to see them. Because Kyle and me are trying to get to the bottom of it.
I'll claim a little bit of it because, I'm not perfect. But I definitely wipe down.
Brian has dark hair and a beard.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy who uses it, I think, has a beard. You may be getting framed right now.
Hey.
So I don't want you to take responsibility for something that isn't your fault just because you're a good person.
No, but I will say that there's probably been a time where I didn't get everything.
Right.
Yeah. I'm human.
Okay.
But I do not just clean up and say, not my problem. Never
That's
have
the
done
next
that.
guy's problem.
Yeah, never have
You're
done
going to
that.
wash your hands in this sink anyways, right?
Now I'm going to be freaking paranoid down there.
Well, no, what I think you should do now is use the other one, because isn't there another shower one?
No. There's a bathroom.
Oh, I was going to say,
doesn't have a
maybe you
shower.
wait 4 or 5 days and see if someone else leaves it behind, because then that eliminates you as a suspect.
I'm going to try that.
Okay. I just think it could be someone else, and you could be taking the fall for someone
That's
right
all right.
now. I
I'll
would just
do
caution.
that.
As your lawyer, I would caution you against doing that. I don't think you should
teammate.
admit guilt right
I'm
now.
a good teammate. I'm just saying it's a possibility that I might have missed some. But I'm not just cleaning up and leaving it there. For sure.
Are you glad you didn't have to wait until noon for us to
I
call
would've
you
been
out?
stressed out, man.
Someone's leaving beard hairs in the
been
downstairs
stressed
bathroom,
out.
and it isn't me. That's for sure. First story in the timeline. It is Kraken CEO Todd Lewicki has announced prices will go down for the majority of season ticket holders. That's starting next season.
There was a perception that people couldn't get into the building, that the tickets were too expensive, and some of that was fair. So today we announced that 10% of the tickets are going to be family priced. But if you're going to do that for new fans, what about the people that were with you before we had a team name? I am eternally grateful for the fans that gave life to this franchise, and today we announced that 90% of our tickets will be flat, and 80% of our tickets for season ticket members will actually go down. The right time to thank people is when you're on your toes and when your building's full, and that's what we did today.
I think that's the move. And he's right with that final line. The right way to reward people and the right way to act is to do it now, as opposed to, hey, we're bad. Ticket prices are up.
Yeah. Listen. Just lower the beer prices, please. That's all I'm asking. Everything should be lower. Like, you want to make this a place where people can go and enjoy themselves. It is so expensive to go to a Kraken game. It's cheaper to go to a Seahawks game. They have their deals over there as well. But I appreciate them doing this for 10% of the fans. Why not more? I'm sure there's some numbers behind that support them being in the positive. But lower everything, because it is hard to take a family of 3, family of 4 to a Kraken game. You got to pack your lunch, eat before. It's a lot. So I appreciate the 10%. Can you do that?
Somehow.
There's got to be a way. But I appreciate the 10%. But keep it rolling. There's more you can do.
Did Cam Ward spoil his draft position during a Fortnite stream last night?
My top 4 running backs in the league right now, I would say Tony Pollard, Spears.
How about his top wide receivers?
Okay, so y'all already said Ridley, Jamar, Justin.
I think Chase and Jamar is like the top.
And then for my last one, Traylon Burks.
And
Burks, he's been a bust.
Favorite head coach?
I'm naming 5 head coaches I like. Number 1.
In the NFL right now?
Number 1, Brian Callahan.
He's not even messing with it.
He's
It's
not even
just
spoiling.
intentional.
We all know what's going down.
Yeah.
We love it. And Tony Pollard, a good running back, 1,000 yards last year, 8 touchdowns. Oh, no, not 8. Yep, 5 touchdowns, excuse me. Traylon Burks from Arkansas, I believe he's out. I thought tough. They drafted him to replace A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Hasn't worked out there. Ridley, a great route runner. He had a decent season last year. No, this is a quarterback. This is what quarterbacks do. You gas up your dudes, and he knows he's going to be the number 1 pick. So, Calvin had 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns, and let's see if he can enhance him.
I like just the blatant top wide receiver. Forget Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Forget anyone else. Forget Chase.
Nah, go with you guys.
Yeah. While with the Tacoma Rainiers on the road trip to OKC, Maple Valley native Taylor Saucedo took to Instagram to roast, rightfully, the Thunder.
You're telling me that the Sonics left Seattle for this place? Ugh! Look at this. They got one building. Who's coming to this place? The Paycom Center? What the f-? I mean, this looks like one of those places they would have like one of those like dinosaur exhibits. Like those electronic dinosaurs like come in here and like not a freaking NBA basketball team. Again, they have one building.
I love the description of the city because it's so true. It looks like they'd have like a dino exhibit here.
If you guys can watch that video, just look at his face. Like he sells. He does a great job. And it's weird. Downtown OKC. I'm sure they have more than one building, but right there is just one
truly
skyscraper.
The skyline.
That's
just
it.
The one.
You can't get that tatted on you.
Next time. Oh, God. Curtis, I knew you would include this. Longtime Pirates star and 80s baby, Andrew McCutcheon, got all of his teammates. Are they fighting?
Fighting, yeah.
Oh, God, fighting necklaces as a good luck charm, even though they've been proven to be a sham.
Can you tell us why the necklaces and how did you expect them to work tonight?
I don't know, because I used to ball out with them back in the day, so might as well give it to the whole team. So that's what we did today. We put 10 runs up on the field. It's not a coincidence.
That's science right
Did
there.
you have one?
I didn't.
They're so ugly.
I didn't. But when I played, Hasselbeck had one. I think all the quarterbacks had them. A few of the.
Did you ever one of those magnetic wristbands?
Nah.
That were supposed to keep your balance?
Yeah. Nah, I didn't buy into all that. Either I didn't buy into it or I just couldn't afford it. Are they expensive? How much are these?
I think they're probably like $30 or something.
No, I didn't buy into that stuff.
I definitely had one senior year of high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Right now it's $38, but in
They're still in business?
2005, do we think it was $38? No way. Yeah, fighting. I'm looking at it right now.
Wow.
I'm going to get us all fighting necklaces. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to get us bracelets. We're going to get matching bracelets. Okay, I'm going to do that right now during the break. When we come back, picking day 2 and day 3 quarterbacks.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Next Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, the app, and your smart speaker.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through April 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet and security edge for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying internet package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Early termination fee applies.
Windows are our home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Mike Salk here, and luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining and entertainment, and elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Plus, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel's award-winning outdoor summer concert series is back with amazing artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD. This summer, overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley, snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey Cougs, Michael Bumpus here, inviting all WSU alumni and friends to the Cougs First Show and Career Expo, Friday, May 9th at the Maidenbauer Center in Bellevue. For education, networking, jobs, and Cougs swag. It's free to attend and all are welcome. Register at cougsfirst.org.
Think about your home. Warm in the winter, cool in the summer. If any of these don't work, your quality of life is impacted. For a decade, I've trusted Home Comfort Alliance to fix and upgrade it all. Hi, John Curley here. Upgrade now with incredible savings on ultra-efficient heat pumps. Get up to $5,000 in local utility rebates. And Eastsiders save up to $6,000 with the Energy Smart Eastside program. Plus, Home Comfort Alliance is offering up to 10% off all heat pumps and air conditioning systems through April. Call Home Comfort Alliance, the comfort people. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Roger. Roger, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
Over the last several years, my homeowner's insurance policies just kept on going up and up and up. For years, it was $1,100. Last year, it was $2,500. And this year, $5,000. That's what got me to call First Mark Insurance.
Were they able to save you any money?
Absolutely. Within a couple of days, came up with a proposal that blew my socks off. It was an amazing amount of reduction in cost.
Did they they improve your coverage while saving you all that money?
They did both. The coverage is better and the cost is substantially less. It's half as much as I was paying last year. Recommend First Mark to anyone who is looking to get better coverage at less cost.
Well, Roger did it, my family did it, and you got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge and see how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
Hey, this is a great deal. Riverside Roofing is offering $1,000 off a new roof replacement, incentivizing homeowners like you to book their roof replacement right now. It's Mike Salk here, and this is a great time to do it. The days are getting longer. Post 7 p.m. sunsets, those crews can get your roof done quick, just in time for the spring rains to keep your home dry and protected. Here's what you got to do to claim your $1,000 off from Riverside Roofing. Book a free estimate from their website, riversideroofingllc.com. And when you meet with Brandon, that's Don's son, tell him you heard the message on the radio station. $1,000 back in your pocket and a brand new roof over your head. Be sure to ask Brandon about their 35 years of local experience, their GAF Master Elite certification, which puts them in the top 3% of roofers nationally, and the catch-all system, which they use to keep your yard and driveway totally free of debris like nails and shingles. It's all at riversideroofingllc.com. Tell them Mike Salk sent you. Go to Riverside Roofing, the roofing company you can trust.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Seahawks signing of Drew Lock might have chilled any expectation that we have that they would take a quarterback early. And I don't know how many of you were expecting a quarterback at 18 or even early in the second round, but it pretty much assured, no, that's not going to happen. However, does it mean they will not take a quarterback at all? I don't necessarily think so. Bump, I know you don't necessarily think so. So, you know how like in the 70s and 80s they had dating shows that would be like behind door number 1?
Yeah.
He loves walks on the beach and going to the mall. You know?
Yeah.
I have that version for 4 either like round 3, 4, or later quarterbacks. Okay. Behind door number 1, a bigger passer with toughness and a quick release. Behind door number 2, undersized but efficient with mobility. Behind door number 3, a strong pocket passer with the ability to extend plays. Behind door number 4, look out, ladies, up and down production, but elite arm talent. Which one sounds most interesting to you, Bump?
I think number 4 is Milrow. Number 1 is Shuck. Number 2 is Dylan Gabriel. And number 3 is Kyle McCord.
You're right about 2 and 3.
2 and 3?
Yeah. I'll let you know that the following quarterbacks were not included. Milrow. I did not include Shuck, nor did I include Dart, because I thought, they might go a little earlier than we expect.
Read the description, number 1 again.
Door number 1, a bigger passer with toughness and a quick release. Number 4, up and down production, but elite arm talent, maybe the best arm in the class. And both may go. Door number 4 will probably go late. That's going to be one of the later passers taken, like round 6.
Number 1 sounds interesting to me. One more time.
Okay, number 1, bigger passer.
Big passer.
Not a big arm, but he's a bigger dude. Tough. Quick release.
I would probably go door number 1, honestly.
Do you want to know who's behind door number
number
1?
1?
Can I get my music again? Behind door number 1, guys, it's Will Howard out of Ohio State.
Okay.
Quarterback of this year's national championship team. He's a polarizing projection. Lance Zierlein projects him as an early day 3 pick. Bleacher Report's Brent Sobeski has him as an under-the-radar prospect who goes early as the 2nd. Will Howard thinks he's the best quarterback in the class. He should go number 1 overall.
Of course he does.
6'4", 236. He might be one of the bigger prospects. Started game across 5 seasons, but really primarily in his final seasons with Kansas State and then obviously Ohio State. So
tell me something.
Yeah.
That description, where'd you get it from?
I got it from like 3 different scout profiles.
Very validating. I like that.
Yeah? Is that what you had?
That's what I had.
Wow,
Very
I'm valid.
validating.
No, I'm not a scout. No, I did all of mine like sourcing from, the links are all in the article.
And remember when I spoke about Will Howard. Someone said, was it Gruden that said he reminds him of Josh Allen? And then I went and watched the film. I go, no way this dude's going to remind me of Josh Allen. And I watched the film, and I told myself, yeah, that looks like a Kirkland signature, Josh Allen. And I love the size, the mobility, the release is compact, is on point, and he's a competitor. If you just watch some of Ohio State's games, he is fierce. Like, off the field or when he's not playing, he's likable, he looks calm and stuff, but there's an energy about this dude that shows up on the football field. Yeah, I like Will Howard.
Right?
I like him more now than I did 2 months ago.
Okay, so Will Howard, again, could go early day 2. He could go middle of day 3. It's really, really hard to tell because it sure sounds like some people are fairly high on him as certainly like maybe the 5th, 6th best guy. And then others are just like, the production just isn't there. He never really established himself. Like, yeah, he was on a national championship team, but look at all the pieces he had around him. So, again, let's go through door 2 and 3 before we get to 4, who we haven't guessed yet.
Right.
Door 2, undersized but efficient with mobility and experience. You correctly guessed Dillon Gabriel. I included him here, a day 3 guy, 5'11". He's drawn comparisons to Russell Wilson. It felt like an easy option to make for Seattle.
Yeah.
What do you think about Gabriel? Who, by the way, named after, true story, Corey Dillon.
Really?
Do you feel 100 years old?
I do. I actually just saw highlight tapes of Corey Dillon at UW the other day. It was crazy. Dillon Gabriel, he also has like 60-something starts, too. He's the new school quarterback who's going to hang around as long as he can and pick up that NIL money. And didn't he came from Ohio State, right? Where was he at before Oregon? Do you know? Curtis
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, there we go. No, I like him. He's underrated for sure. I think obviously the size is going to be a knock on him. Efficient passer. He's mobile. Knows how to win for the most part. Didn't win in the big game. Got smacked against Ohio State in the was Ohio State? Yeah, in the Rose Bowl. But no, I like this young man. I think he's going to be a good number 2 for someone who has the potential to surprise and be a starter.
You also correctly guessed door number 3. Again, these are all like you're using one of your later picks for a quarterback. This is not a first round, not a second round. This is like, hey, you've got it figured out, but maybe John Schneider takes a shot. Door number 3, strong pocket passer, ability to extend plays. You correctly guessed that it was Kyle McCord out of Syracuse, led the league in passing yards with over 4,700, 5th in total touchdowns.
This guy, I saw him work the seams beautifully with his tight end over there. I believe his tight end came from Oregon, transferred over to Syracuse. And he threw the ball more than anybody in the country. And when you are asked to do that, you will turn the football over. I mean, throwing the football is not a high percentage play. Eventually, mistakes are going to happen. But he handled it great. I watched a game, or I called a game that he had like 3 or 4 turnovers in the first half and bounced back and tossed 5 touchdowns. And that just shows just grit and resilience because you know how it's like, man, when something ain't working, you don't want to keep going back to it. But this OC said, you know what, I got you. Keep doing it. I like me some Kyle McCord. Door
number 4, the one we haven't guessed yet, and I will give you 2 clues. Again, if you like the sound of this guy, then you want John Schneider to take a shot. Door number 4, he has maybe the best arm talent in the class, but is super up and down as a passer. Your 2 clues. Number 1, you hate saying his name. And number 2, burnt orange.
I hate saying Ewers.
Yes.
Yes.
Quinn Ewers is number 4. He might have the best arm in terms of just arm strength, but also the ability to make almost any throw. But Benjamin Solak of ESPN projects him as a 6th-round pick because he says that while he's got, quote, a wicked release when throwing in rhythm, everything looks good when it's going good, he has stretches of poor accuracy, bad decision-making, and it's why he's not going to go higher.
And he still completed 65% of his passes, 31 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. I'm sure having Matthew Golden over there and Quintrevian Windsor helped as well. We come up with some names, can we? Quintrevian Windsor. All right. But Ewers he lost money this year.
Yeah.
Like if he could have come out last year, he would have been a top 3 pick, but he was a sophomore, couldn't do that. But no, I think he has a lot of upside. I think he's the type of guy that, if coached correctly, can limit those stretches of poor decision making and help a team out. This isn't a top heavy quarterback class, but there are guys that have potential to develop. I think he's one of those guys. All these guys are.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, thanks for playing our quarterback dating game. I think you and Will Howard will be very happy together, and we'll see whether or not John Schneider picks Will as well. What should the Seahawks do in the draft, and what do we actually want them to do? That's next.
the 2025 NFL Draft.
Their first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Next Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, the app, and your smart speaker.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and you've been hearing me talk for a few months now about People Come First Construction Group. If you're interested in a backyard oasis, boy, do I have the event for you. PCF Group is launching their brand new luxury design center. And you can join me, some friends, and experts on April 25th for their community grand opening. The event starts at 11 a.m., but come say hi to me from 3 to 5 p.m. That day only, PCF Group will pay your sales tax on products like grills, hot tubs, patio furniture, and more. The new design center is an immersive experience for customers showcasing how outdoor spaces elevate home living, relaxation, and entertainment. Food and beverages, they'll be available, giveaways, and you'll have the chance to view their state-of-the-art virtual reality system. You'll also have the chance to mingle with special guests, both current and former football players. So come on out. Check out PCF Group's new exterior design Premier Gallery grand opening event on April 25th. For more details, visit PCFgroup.com or call 206-992-0364.
When you have really good leaders, it makes it easy.
Gia arrived at Lee Johnson after 10 years at another dealership.
You know your job, but then you have people who you can rely on to help you with the big stuff that you need that support from. And I've gotten that every day with my service manager, with our assistant service manager, with even like our GM and our GSM. The way that, we're now on the showroom together, we are so close-knit just as a department. My service manager here, he's always open to teach you whatever you want to know. He just wants everybody to do good around him, and if somebody wants to learn something, I'm here to do it. And I've never had a service manager like that before. They're really good at promoting from within. That's one thing that I've learned from working here. I see people start out as a lot porter, and people work their way all the way up to being a general manager.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Let's jump back to today's scoreboard. MLB matinee games. Blue Jays up 2-0 over the Braves. Braves with a tough start to the season, currently 5-12, looking at potentially 5-13. Brewers up 5-1 over Detroit. Twins up 3-0 over the Mets. The Astros were up over the Cardinals, but the Cardinals have pulled ahead 4-1.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. There's what you should do and what you want to do. What I should do is go to the gym when I get home. What I want to do is take a nap. So we're going to think about what we want the Seahawks to do if we're playing with house money. There are no consequences to this. It's not our draft pick. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to necessarily think of a ton of repercussions. Just think of the name, or you could go by position.
Is that how you say that word, repercussions?
Repercussions. No repercussions.
Is it repercussions?
Repercussions.
Maybe it's, I don't know. You know, black folks, we be saying stuff. Maybe we've been saying it wrong. Repercussion. Anyway, I'm
going to say it both ways so that I cover my bases.
All right, got you.
Without any repercussions, you have to think about what you would want the Seahawks to do. So maybe your friends are complaining about the Seahawks taking, I don't know, a quarterback at 18, but you secretly to yourself, privately, will be thinking, I'm so glad they did this. I kind of can't wait to see what happens here. So that's the kind of pick that we're making now. So, Bump, tell me one thing you think the Seahawks should do in the first round and what you kind of want them to do.
Oh, man, this is a long segment, so I have to really, because it's really simple to me, but for the sake of this segment, we're gonna really talk through.
Is it the same answer for both?
Okay. No, I think that what I want them to do is what I want to happen, which is not going to happen. Is that people take Travis Hunter's comments about him quitting football if he doesn't play both sides so seriously that he slides to 18. Ain't no way that's going to happen, right? So what I think they are going to do is take the best available player at 18.
Okay.
And who is that going to be? That's the $1 million question. I think it could be Golden, the receiver from Texas. I think it could be Loveland. They say Loveland?
I say Loveland.
I like Loveland.
Okay.
Sounds like a great place.
But Loveland sounds like he could be like Irish.
Irish. And I like my Irish. It could be Loveland. It could be Brooks. It could be Pierce, and I think there's like a pool of 5 or 6. It can be Imaware from South Carolina. There's a list that you put together the other day. It was like 4 guys who could be available at that time. But yeah, I think you go best available player, and you do that because you have the 18th pick. With the 18th pick, you don't play around. You don't say, we need a guard, so let's go overpay for a guard. You don't overpay for anything on the offensive line in free agency, so why do it now in the draft? It has to be the best available. I don't care the position. As long as it's not a kicker, I am good to go.
Okay. Is there a particular player that you'd be a little more intrigued by? Like if they took this guy, you'd be like, I kind of can't wait for rookie camp.
It's Amawari. He's been my
Okay.
favorite. He's been my favorite. I've said it plenty of times. He's a safety. He roams around. He attacks the football. He will hit you. He takes great angles when the football's in his hand. He is trying to score. I love it. And even though you got Jay Love, you have Kobe Bryant as well. I believe Jenkins is with another team now. So you could use some depth at that position. And the way that they use their safety, there's a lot of 3 safety type of deals. And he could be that 3rd safety in the box. He's that good. And so can Kobe Bryant. So I could see that trio making some noise back there.
It's not who I chose, but I thought about it, and I'll tell you why I like your pick. Because I want this team, as you do, so badly to have an identity, and it feels like they're so much closer to getting that on defense. You know what I mean? Like if you were to bring in a guy where you thought, this could be a top-end physical threat for us. This is bringing a little bit of boom back, bringing an edge back, and we want that defense. That feels more immediately helpful than getting a running back who's going to get a few carries.
Yeah.
You know? And I know, like, they want to run the ball. That is part of the identity. But you're so much closer to being a top-5 defense than you are an offense.
You're enhancing the strongest part of your team.
Yeah.
And last year it was different, right? Last year we saw wideouts, offensive linemen, quarterbacks go. And you're a product of what's available, right? That was the talent that's available. And then, ironically, there were teams who needed quarterbacks. So we saw almost all of these quarterbacks play except for what J.J. McCarthy, these first-round quarterbacks. We saw all these guys. And now this year is a bit different. You don't have a lot of talent at the quarterback spot, at least not a lot of first-round grades. And it's mixed up a bit. I think we're going to see a couple wide receivers go in the first round. We're going to see a couple tackles go in the first round. We're going to see a edge rusher, a linebacker, tight end. So it's just, this one is a bit more fun because it's a bit more mixed up when it comes to the talent pool.
Yeah.
It's not as deep or as talented as last year's, but there's more variety in this one.
All right, you guys can text in your answers to the Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. What the Seahawks should do and what you want them to do. And for the want them to do, I want you to think of it like a guilty pleasure choice. Something you know they maybe even shouldn't, or you know that they might be criticized for, but part of you is really curious and wants to see it. So here's my answer. I think what they should do is address the offensive line first and get someone like Ray Zabel. It answers a lot of questions. It gives you a lot of versatility. It's a little higher than you typically draft an interior lineman, but guess what? The Seahawks haven't done that, so that's one potential solution to a decade-long problem. What I want them to do is draft a pass catcher, in particular, Colston Loveland. His numbers are not like eye-popping, right? Like he's got 582 yards last year for Michigan, 649 the year prior for a 2023 national championship team that we don't have to talk about. We don't have to revisit that game. But I do think for a couple reasons I'm really intrigued by this. Number one, a tight end is typically not going to be a first-round pick, but you've got two that everyone's talking about and everyone's really high on. And I saw Matt Miller say that he thinks that Loveland could be even better, maybe the first tight end off the board. And I just think, secondly, you've underutilized and not gotten the most out of this position despite valuing it. Like, you've paid Noah Fant and acquired him via that trade.
Yep.
You've paid Will Dissly. You traded for Jimmy Graham, but Jimmy Graham was the only one of those three to get over like 550 receiving yards for you. You didn't really get much of anything out of Will, and you would have wanted him to be this guy who was like, well, he can block for us too, but he wasn't really on the field as often as he could have been. Like, it's really been a position where you have seen your NFC West foe, the San Francisco 49ers, knock it out of the park with Kittle. Meanwhile, you look around the league, Bump, you did this during the playoffs. You were looking at what some of the most successful playoff teams had in common, and you were like, some of these guys have really great tight ends. They're not the number one pass catcher on the team, but they really make a difference, especially when you're trying to be versatile, when you're looking for like, hey, we want to be a team that can run the rock. Also, we've got this guy who can block, who can make us really multidimensional as an offense. I wonder if Clint Kubiak would be intrigued by that. So, like, a high-end receiver is where you save money if you take someone like Matthew Golden, but I'm intrigued by, and I don't even know why at this point, the idea of a tight end. Like, I would hear people complaining and be like, yeah, for sure, they shouldn't have done that. And then privately, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait for training camp.
No, I'll tell you why you should be intrigued, especially with this one, because he can line up anywhere. I watched his film. He can line up traditional, attached to the line of scrimmage. He can get in that wing spot. He lined up in the slot. He went outside. It's going to be a bit different in the NFL. I don't see him going outside often. Not too many tight ends can do that. But if you can catch a team in man, start them tight, motion them outside, get them on a safety one-on-one, who knows? And he's good in the run game too. He's about about 6'5", I believe, about 245. 6'5", about 245. Yep, 6'5", 245, and he can move a bit. You know, he's not as elusive as a George Kittle, but he's not as slow as a Mark Andrews. He's somewhere in the middle where Kelsey lies. You know how Kelsey somehow breaks tackles, and it makes no sense to me because he looks slow.
It looks like he's running in slow motion.
Yeah.
You're like, did these other guys slow down? He runs the way that I run in dreams. You know what I mean? When you're trying to run fast and you can't.
Yeah, so that's I know I like that pick because in this Kubiak offense, the tight ends are crucial. The tight ends will, like I said, line up in multiple spots, motion to the backfield, become a fullback, start in the backfield, motion to the left side. They do a lot. And to play the most versatile position in football, I believe it is, you got to be versatile. That's exactly what he is.
I know. I don't mean to insult offensive linemen with this take. The right choice is to take an offensive lineman. The right choice is to take the very, very best offensive lineman there. I think so, because haven't we spent how much time did we spend talking about the offensive line and being like, okay, they've spent money on it in free agency. They've made some trades, like lower level trades, but Dwayne Brown obviously acquiring a tackle via big trade. They have not used first-round picks on interior linemen.
Yeah, but
they've not.
I wouldn't go interior lineman.
The Lions have.
That's your need. That's your need. Yeah, but was it Penei?
Penei Sewell, someone else too, an older one.
And they probably had like a top 10 pick as well because they were garbage.
Yes, and I know that you can look at like Creed Humphreys as I think a second rounder and be like, okay, well, look at they found him late. I totally get it, but I'm just saying like, if they do that, it'll be like someone shows up with spaghetti and everyone likes spaghetti, but no one like loves spaghetti.
Yeah, but the reason why I wouldn't do that is because I think that you can find that position later. I think you can.
You definitely can.
And I think that there's more talent already here than what we believe. And Grubb's offense didn't highlight that. Grubb's offense put a lot of pressure on these dudes to be dang near perfect in pass pro and all that good stuff, and didn't really find their groove when it comes to running the football. Listen, I wouldn't be upset if they did that if I'm looking at the board and I don't see some of the names that you and I have talked about. It's all reactive, man. You have to react to what's going on around you. I just hope they get the best. And if they think that is the best, right, the best player available is an interior offensive lineman, I would tip my cap and say, if you watch way more film than I have, I can respect it but not agree with it at the same time.
Another way I tried to think about it is like, you know how people talk about the Jalen Carter or Devin Witherspoon comparison? And we're like, but Devin ended up being a 2-time Pro Bowler. Like Devin is maybe your best player on defense. Like it's not like you didn't get a great pick with Devin, but then people go, well, Jalen ended up being great too. So I'm thinking of it as if Loveland was drafted and ended up being, let's say he was a Pro Bowler. Let's say he doesn't get 1,000 yards, but he gets like 600 yards, like a great rookie season. And let's say that your offensive line still really struggles, and Gray Zabel ends up having a great rookie season too. Do you regret not taking Gray Zabel?
I'll be hindsight's 2020.
I know, but what I'm saying is
I regret a lot of stuff in 2025.
But what I'm saying is, like, what if taking your pass catcher there or your fun pick, like that I kind of want them to do, does cost you offensive line play?
It could. That's the gamble of the draft.
I mean, I'd rather have fun.
You just don't know, and it's all about how you look at what you already have. And me, I really believe, and this isn't just off of a hunch. This isn't off of feelings. This isn't forcing it because someone texted in, "Bump, we did that the last 10 years." I forget all that. I'm living in the moment right now. And when I look at what Kubiak wants to do and the personnel that's already here, I think they're going to make significant steps. I don't think they're going to be the best offensive line in the game, but I think that the way he calls a game and the scheme is going to help these body types so that you can find something later. But again, I'm not mad if they were to go interior. I could see the reason for going interior lineman. It makes complete sense to me. But I think that there are some steps that Haynes could take, Olu could take. I'm still waiting. I think that I would feel a little better about this offensive line if they already got their veteran.
Mhm.
You know, not a swing tackle.
But if
or
they would have
whatnot.
had Fries.
Yeah, if they would have Fries, I would feel even better about this situation. They still have a lot of building to do, and I just want to learn. I want to learn about how they view this offensive line group with this new scheme in OC.
Let's go to the Mac and Jacks text line 866-979-3776. Let's see. So you've got your what you think they should do and then what you kind of want them to do. So again, it's a guilty pleasure pick. It's a pick where you're like, this might sound dumb, but that's how I want you to think of this pick. So I'm thinking of like, what type of player would I be more excited to watch? Probably a pass catcher.
Yeah.
So
for
either
sure.
a tight end, and the better value pick as a wide receiver because they just cost more. So maybe it's McMillan, maybe it's
Emeka's been tied
Bolden.
to the
Right.
Seahawks too.
So
Only thing that gives me the pause on Emeka is that he's 6'1", and I think that I would prefer
Someone
a bigger
less
receiver.
petite.
Yeah. Stop calling that man petite, 6'1", about 190 pounds.
Let me get to listeners. Okay, 866-979-3776. My guilty pleasure with no repercussions pick, says the 206,
It's
is to actually repercussions is to trade up and get Ashton Genty.
Trade up and get Ashton Genty.
Trade up and get Ashton.
That is a real guilty pleasure right there.
That is definitely
For real.
guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone said Scadaboo, not in the first round. Really, when's he projected to go?
Let me see. I think he's a second, third rounder.
Yeah, maybe I'm being.
They got him.
rude.
They got him ranked on where I look at as the 8th running back in this class.
Someone said you shouldn't draft anyone at 18 that you can get at 45, 50, or 70. Yeah, but you're going to end up with that kind of pick. Maybe you take someone at 18 that you could have gotten at 21, 23. I don't know anyone that you're going to take in the first round that you absolutely positively could have gotten at pick 70. That player will be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, positional value, now we're talking. You can get a guard at 70, but you can get a tight end at 70.
Yeah.
But will you get the best or second best?
With tight
you will
ends, no.
not.
There's 3 really good ones, and then everyone else kind of, you're searching. There's Warren, there's Loveland, and there's Fannin from Bowling Green, who does not get enough love. That kid can ball.
We have someone co-signing Warner Loveland. Someone also co-signing your guy, Nick Emanwari. Yeah, it looks like people are just like, look, we all know what they need. But what I want is someone where I can look at those stats at the end of the game.
You can't always get what you want.
Thank you, Bump.
There you go.
Thank you. Quickly, some Mariners news. The Mariners have optioned Gregory Santos to AAA Tacoma and have called up reliever Will Clyde. Man, he gave up 2 runs yesterday.
I know, but I was
rooting
rooting for him,
for him.
man. That
Doesn't have a
energy.
strikeout yet.
Doesn't have a strikeout yet, despite facing
judging him, right? He's okay.
36 batters
That's
over
really bad.
8 appearances.
That's really bad.
Again, Mariners have optioned Gregory Santos to AAA Tacoma. Let's get to headline rewrite.
It was hype.
You wanted it. You wanted it for you. I know.
Headlines. The story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Kraken season, it's over. But CEO Todd Lewicki confirmed that GM Ron Francis will return next season. What's your real headline?
Now, the same front office is returning. Is it really over? I don't know, man.
They're low
So
key,
back.
low key running it back. But the reason why I think they're kind of running it back is because of what they got for getting rid of Oliver and Yanni Gord. They got a 2026 and 2027 first-round draft pick, 2025 second-round draft pick. So I think because this is a new franchise, you exceeded expectations, and you got people excited, and the group of players just didn't work out. And Ron is responsible for putting that group together, and there are other pieces involved or other people involved as well. And I think because it's a new franchise, if this were the Capitals, if this were the Oilers, people would be like, all right, he's got to move on now. But because you started from scratch, absolutely nothing, and trying to build something, maybe they shifted their philosophy and they're giving him another go. I understand why people would be frustrated with this, but I'm okay with it, honestly. I want to see what he does when he has a better understanding of what this organization needs to have success. They got lucky that second year. That was luck.
It was fun.
That was emotion. It's like in football, I played on teams where we come out the first quarter and we are just playing with USC and we got no business playing with them because we're emotional. And then everything settles down. SC remembers who they are, and we get in a 3rd and 15, and it's all bad.
What's the best era of a team you've ever seen? Was it that version of SC?
It was SC. That version of SC, and then Cal when they had Marshawn Lynch, Justin Forsett, Deshaun Jackson, Lavelle Hawkins. That was
like
ridiculous.
if you could go back and relive, and I'm going to take the Seahawks Super Bowl winning season off the table because that's going to be the most common answer. But like if you could go back and relive or rewatch now a team's season anywhere, Curtis, feel free to chime in too.
Like live in person?
Live and in person.
You know I'm going to Miami 2000s.
I thought you go to the Bulls.
Nah, Mom, I'm going to Miami.
Okay. Miami 2000s.
Ed Reed and them.
Messy.
Crazy.
Curtis.
Boy, yeah.
Any season, anywhere, anytime, you got to watch it unfold.
I mean, the end of USC's run, like when they were trying to go for 3 straight.
So you'd watch the loss.
But that Texas team was ridiculously good too. They had Jamal Charles, Vince Young. I mean, maybe that Texas team. Like that was their one goal that year, was just to beat USC. They knew they were good enough to get to the national championship game. Like I think I watched a SEC Network documentary on that Texas team. They're like, yeah, we don't even need to worry about the regular season. We're going to be there. We're going to meet USC.
And they were right.
About
both.
Yeah.
You know who beat a version of that Texas team? Wazoo Holiday Bowl. Beat Vince Young, baby. He was young. We got him.
Headline rewrite.
So when you think about it,
It's almost like we were in the national championship.
I think of it that way too.
You were watching that Rose Bowl that year. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Just get in front of him.
That's how I felt when Washington beat Michigan earlier this season. I thought, so we're even now. We're even now. We won a natty.
The Mariners dropped their series opener to the Reds last night, 8-4. What's the real headline?
Yeah, guys, I don't think relying on another Dylan Moore multi-home run game is going to be the path to victory here.
You should automatically win those games. You get 2 bombs from
Dylan Moore
Demo. It
gives
should be
you
like,
2
guys,
bombs.
Demo's doing his thing. Let's slap a few out there. You know what? I'm concerned because I saw some of the same swing decisions from Julio that I saw last year. Like, out in the way, bro. You know what's coming. Like, stay back. Swinging that first pitch. His first pitch swing rate is crazy right now. It's concerning, but Julio's got to step up. Everyone else has to step up. If Demo hits 2 bombs, you're supposed to win that ball game. Take some pressure off of everyone else in that lineup. Just didn't happen. And Castillo had his worst game of the year so far. I'm looking at his spin rate, his movement on his pitches. Everything is down. Velocity is down. But he's 32, and we got to warm up. So the weather's getting better out here, Castillo. They were cold out there. It was cold in Cincinnati. I saw hoodies on underneath those uniforms. Let's just get through this and hopefully see a better version of Castillo.
I agree with you, though. Watching some of those, repeated mistakes from Julio, and that'll happen for any young player anytime, and hopefully it just lessens as the year advances. But it's frustrating when it is like a decision-making thing. And you almost wish you could take like what you've seen in terms of plate discipline from Jorge Polanco right now and like apply it to like Julio's power and ability, with Jorge Polanco being like 70% of himself right now.
Yeah.
Because you're just watching just better decisions from some of these veterans. And with that comes years of experience compared to Julio, but Julio's got such an incredibly high ceiling. You wish that he could figure it out sooner.
Yeah.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3. In his second time meeting with the media since trading Luka Doncic back in February, Mavs GM Nico Harrison says he still has no regrets about the deal. What's the real headline?
That's so funny because the Bears just said they don't regret drafting Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes. No one regrets anything.
My man Nico's being held hostage. Okay?
That's why there were no
Blink
phones
twice
or
if you're
videos.
okay.
Are you
He's
safe,
being held
Nico?
hostage. Look at his face. Every time you look at him, he looks concerned for his life because he's got billionaires over there. Their names: Marion Adelson, Patrick Dumont, Mark Cuban, Mary Stanton. We developed that she's the homie. She only owns 4%
She's
of
cool.
the
We're
team.
cool with her.
She's cool. Everybody else putting some pressure on Nico. And this wasn't a decision he made on his own. Everyone made this decision. They did not want to pay Luka for some reason, and there's some business decisions going on in that whole situation as well. The Adelson family are big in the casino deal. They own a bunch of land. There's a lot going on here. Nico is getting paid $5 million this year, double that, because he is standing in front of the media without cameras, and he's taking all these shots, and there's nothing he can say to make people feel better. He has to back up the decisions that were made for him.
A new name visiting the Seahawks ahead of the draft, this time on defense. Plus, taking a look around the NFL. Next.
When you're on the pitch clock and don't have time for your favorite Seattle sports shows, listen to the podcasts on demand.
How about that? Unbelievable. Who would have thought?
Every hour, every interview, every look behind the scenes.
Dan Wilson's the new skipper.
This is a window. This is a time where we can get it done, and that's the hope. That's the vision for this club.
Find us on SeattleSports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you get podcasts.
Holy smokes!
Never miss a minute of Seattle sports, the home of the Mariners.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight, and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only. Take up to $3,500 off an energy-efficient brine cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Mike Salk here, and luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. And this summer, you can experience the breathtaking Cascade views, the world-class dining and entertainment, and elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Plus, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel's award-winning outdoor summer concert series is back with amazing artists like Hanson, Austin Jenks, Melanie Fiona, and POD. This summer, overlooking the beautiful Snoqualmie Valley, snocasino.com for tickets. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
you
have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Baseball's back. It's time your yard stepped up to the plate. Synthetic Turf Northwest is Seattle's go-to for pro-quality turf. Perfect for backyard batting cages, putting greens, or just a mud-free play zone for the whole family. We install the best, we supply the best. And we're local-based in Woodinville with a new Fife location coming soon next to Sportco. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com, where the grass is always greener.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we are going to start with someone who could be the number 1, certainly number 2 or 3 overall pick in the draft next week. Travis Hunter can't emphasize enough how much he actually wants to play both ways in the NFL.
If you had to choose between playing only one position in the NFL or never playing football again, what would you choose?
It's never playing football again.
That's how passionate you are about playing both positions. Why is that?
Yes, I've been doing it my whole life. And I love being on the football field, and I feel like I can dominate on each side of the ball. So I really enjoy doing it.
What a way to set up the question.
Who asked him that question?
If you were to choose between playing in the NFL or dying, which would you choose?
Why would you ask that question?
I mean, so he can emphasize that I want to play both or else.
We know that. Listen, you're not going to be able to play both sides of the football every single snap. Not in the NFL, my man. It's just a different thing. But what you can do is what I think you should do. Start off at DB, get about 10 to 15 plays on offense. Do your thing, bro. But the person who set up that question, come on, man. You know what? But it works because we are talking about it and everyone's been talking about it. I saw it on ESPN this morning. Yeah. It's that's bait for show.
What's the worst? Do you remember a bad question you've asked someone?
No, I forget those.
I do too. I try to they're absolutely there.
Yeah.
I've
done it before.
Oh, I've done it in interviews now as a grown up, but as a baby reporter when I was asking them, they were bad. They were really bad questions.
I did one yesterday.
I probably did one today, and I just forgot. Jordan, we had Jordan on?
Yeah, Jordan.
The Seahawks are hosting likely first-round pick Michigan cornerback Will Johnson on a top 30 visit today. We had Bob Condota on, was it Monday or last week? And we asked...
I think it was Monday.
Monday? Okay, so you weren't here, but we asked Bob, hey, basically, what do you think the Seahawks will do at 18? And he teased that he is coming out with a mock for the Seattle Times. And then he hinted that he thinks they're going to go defense. Do you think they will?
At 18.
At 18.
Yeah, because they're going to go Nick Amawari.
Right.
Defense.
Because the best player available might be. Now, what if that player is a
defense.
cornerback? How do you feel about adding to the cornerback?
I'm fine with
room?
especially Will Johnson, man. I like his game. I really like his game. And we have high expectations for this defense, but you need depth. You need depth at safety, linebacker, and corners. In the box, you're good. They're probably still going to draft a defensive lineman or an edge rusher somewhere. But I feel better about the defensive linemen and edge rushers than I feel about the linebackers and DBs.
Next up, still nothing new on the Aaron Rodgers front. A shame. A shame for Bump's bet. Adam Shefte shared when he expects Rodgers to sign.
And if Aaron Rodgers decides that he wants to play in Pittsburgh with new teammates, new receivers, new coaches, in a new offense in a new city, I would think that he would want to be there, boots on the ground, from day one of the offseason program so he could be on the field. Now, he could put this off more and wait longer. Sure, he could do that. It's not like it's a hard deadline. But if you're going to be going into a new situation, don't you want to give yourself the best chance to get acclimated to everybody and everything within your power when the offseason workout program begins?
Learn from your mistakes, Aaron. It didn't work. with the Jets. And I understand, like, you have reached a point of your career to where you want to flex your muscle. You're one of the greatest to do this. But I hope you've learned that this is the ultimate team sport. Chemistry is important. You need to be around your guys. They need to hear your cadence. They need to understand your expectations, because it's going to be tough for him to come in there and be barking at DK and George Pickens when you ain't been there during the whole offseason, because you know DK is going to show up ready to go. Yeah. I don't know much about George Pickens and his work ethic, but I know DK will be there for everything and be ready because he's excited. You can't show up late and start making orders and barking at people and being the old Aaron Rodgers. Learn from your mistakes, sir.
I'm going to introduce a listener question or proposal into NFL headlines, because I was listening to it earlier on Brock and Salk. I know we've already talked about it, but Brock made a point that I want to get to real quick. A listener, Isaac and Everett, says, please talk about Colorado retiring jerseys before they play pro. Clown emoji. Talking about, obviously, Shedeur Sander and Travis Hunter's jerseys getting retired. Remind me what you were like. At first you thought it was silly, and then
at first I thought it was silly. I still think it's silly to some extent, but when you look at Shedeur's passing numbers, he's thrown the most touchdowns in Colorado history in 2 years. His completion percentage is the best. His numbers are yardage wise, he's like third or fourth or something like that. It's just wait until Shedeur is the type to where you wait 2, 3, 4 years, he gets into the league, and even if he doesn't have an all-pro type of career, he makes some plays and you say, okay, let's retire. With Travis, I get them wanting to do it early. I still think they should have waited.
Yes.
But he is still the best football player to ever go through that university.
So earlier I heard Brock making a joke about how, like, Patrick Mahomes doesn't even have his jersey retired by Texas Tech. And I was like, yes, that is crazy. However, listen, I'm going to make an insane take, but it's just what I immediately thought. Well, if you're retiring jerseys based on maybe like a leader within school history, not very clearly the best football player from your school, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he's got the record for single season passing yards, but almost no other passing record for Texas Tech. And I'm just saying, I know it's wild. I'm making a devil's advocate take. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, blah, blah. You don't need to tell me that.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
Well, he's got his own facility, like training facility.
Exactly. I'm just saying, Shedeur Sanders, to your point, now he's number 5 overall in career passing yards, but he was only there for 2 seasons. He is number 1 in single season and number 1 in career passing touchdowns, as well as obviously number 1 in single season passing touchdowns. He's got more school records than Mahomes has with Texas Tech. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm just saying, if you were making the case that it's about what you did for the school versus who's very clearly the better player overall.
You're doing it for the school. I think just that time in between allows for reflection and for people to appreciate it a bit more. But when you look at his numbers, he is arguably the best quarterback to play at Colorado.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's even with Cordell Stewart. What was the quarterback in the 90s when they were really good? It was a Samoan cat, my bad. I'm sorry, forgetting his name.
I have it down here.
He like passed away. He was like really good.
For Colorado?
Yeah, he passed away.
Hang on. Was it Sifu?
He was
Yahoo?
in the 2000s.
Oh, 2000s?
He was in the 90s.
Shame on me. Shame on me.
Shame on us. We should know that name.
I know.
But yeah, it's the timing of it. People want to wait and let it marinate, and I get that. But we're gonna look back years from now, and there probably won't be another quarterback who has the 2-year run that Shedeur Sander had in the next 10 years.
From the 90s, Rashawn Salam. I don't know. I'm missing
Sal Onese.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
21 years old when he passed away.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyways, just a take that I wanted to introduce because I knew that you felt the same way. Okay, let's get on to one more NFL headline here. Let's go to this one. Giants GM Joe Schoen was asked about his team's interest in drafting a quarterback in round 1, even after signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston.
With the signing of those 2 players, I think we put ourselves in a position where, I don't think that's mandatory or something that we're, feet to the fire and we have to do. I think the 2 guys we signed have played a lot of ball. They've got a lot of skins on the wall, and I do think we've upgraded that room, compared to where it was a year ago. I like the 2 guys that we have, and Tom is still in there, and he's won games for us too, and he's still developing. So we're happy with the makeup of the room right now.
Is it a smokescreen, or do you think the Giants will seriously not take Shedeur at number 2?
It's so tough because I think they should.
Sorry,
I think they should. But we know Cam's going 1. You got Abdul or Travis number 2. So Abdul or Travis are going to be available at 3. They are the better football player. If you want to highlight Malik Neighbors, do you think that, I think Russell Wilson can throw Malik Neighbors enough quality football so he can have another monster season. But we just know that that's not the long-term deal. It's tough, and I think they should go Shedeur, but I think they'll probably go best available. Therefore, you got to go with Abdul or Travis Hunter.
Colin Cowherd is hearing the Seahawks have interest in someone we've heard mocked here frequently, Arizona's Teteroa McMillan at number 18.
I will tell you this. Seattle likes him a lot. I'll just leave it at that. Seattle likes him a lot.
So could T-Mac be the essentially replacement to DK Metcalf, pair him up with JSN?
If I had to make a prediction on my draft, he goes to the Seahawks.
Colin is not the only person to mock Teteroa to Seattle.
Yeah. Not mad at it.
No.
Big receiver, profile that I like. Wouldn't be mad at it. Only I'd be mad if Nick Amawari is available.
Banging the table. I said Nick. I said him. Big Ray Roberts joining us in about 20 minutes. Before we get to that, things you want to see in sports this year. That's next.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
The first real opportunity for Mike McDonald to build this team in the image he really wants.
With 5 of the first 100 picks.
Are you kidding me?
What are the biggest needs?
It might be too early to take a guard in the first round.
And nobody is taking you deeper inside Seahawks HQ on draft day with General Manager John Schneider live at 4 p.m.
What you do here matters.
Next Thursday, only from the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, the app, and your smart speaker.
Hey, Mike Salk here with special guest Ryan Rowland-Smith, and we love having Hyphen on the show to talk a little baseball, but today, talking about something a bit more personal, yet really exciting. Hyphen, share all the good news.
Thanks, Mike. Look, I've been hearing for about 2 years now how you did the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan and how you lost a ton of weight. I decided to see what the program was all about, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've lost 30 pounds in just 60 days, and my only regret is not starting sooner.
Well, I'm happy for you. What's been the best part of the program so far?
Honestly, how simple it's been. There's no crazy exercises, no counting calories or scary shots or injections, no side effects or any of that stuff. I feel healthier, I'm sleeping better, I'm eating delicious meals, and the accountability plus communication from the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic team has made it fun.
Man, that is awesome, buddy. Would you recommend it?
Yes. To anyone listening, I was in your shoes. Just schedule a 15-minute consult at Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It's all you have to do to start.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. Saturday night, May 10th. Experience the thrill of live MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this exciting mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, May 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you've been hearing me talk for a few months now about People Come First Construction Group. If you're interested in a backyard oasis, boy, do I have the event for you. PCF Group is launching their brand new luxury design center, and you can join me, some friends, and experts on April 25th for their community grand opening. The event starts at 11 a.m., but come say hi to me from 3 to 5 p.m. That day only, PCF Group will pay your sales tax on products like grills, hot tubs, patio furniture, and more. The new design center is an immersive experience for customers, showcasing how outdoor spaces elevate home living, relaxation, and entertainment. Food and beverages, they'll be available, giveaways, and you'll have the chance to view their state-of-the-art virtual reality system. You'll also have the chance to mingle with special guests, both current and former football players. So come on out. Check out PCF Group's new exterior design premier gallery grand opening event on April 25th. For more details, visit pcfgroup.com or call 206-992-0364.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You know, hearing Travis Hunter say that he actually does want to play both ways in the NFL, Bump, had me thinking about all the things that we want to see in sports in 2025. Keep this interesting. I don't want to hear, oh, I'd love to see the Mariners win lots of games. No! Be a little more specific. Something fun. Something that you've been dying to see that you really, really want to. So I'll start with this obvious one. I would actually love to see Travis Hunter play both ways in the NFL this season. And I'm assuming that will not be regularly, but I would just love to see in a game. I will stop what I'm doing to watch if he's lining up at wide receiver and also at corner.
Lucky you, because I got to watch it on Red Zone because I'll be working on Sundays.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
We won't be able to experience it live, but we'll be tracking it. There's going to be a Travis Hunter tracker on X for sure. How many snaps on offense, how many snaps on defense. Last time I saw that go down was Deion Sanders. I used to get excited, man. I used to see him line up at receiver and then catch a punt return. Then he lines up on defense. It's exciting, man, and I would love to see that. And I hope we're going to see it. We're going to see it.
There's no way they don't do it week one.
There's no
right?
way.
I mean, you have to think of week one. This is going to be, let's say it's the Browns. What do you have to lose?
Well, and again, you want to,
it.
It's entertainment as well.
Yes.
Your fans are going to show up to see Travis Hunter. And they're going to go crazy when he lines up at receiver, crazy at DB. You got to do it.
I think, like, if I'm Roger Goodell, I'm like, wink, wink, nudge, nudging. Like, sure would be great to see Travis out there playing both, right? Sure would be fun, right, Kevin Stefanski? Just get it done. Let's see. 866-979-3776. Stop that right now. Someone said, I want to see Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl with my Steelers. Bump, what do you actually want to see in sports in 2025? I know it's already April, but here we are.
I want to see Milrose start and go nuts.
Just one start.
He's a projected first rounder now, apparently. He's showing up to the to draft day and going to be in the room and all that good stuff. I want to see him go nuts. I want to see him get drafted, and I want to see him go absolutely bonkers out there and just show his athleticism, because you can do it early in your career because there's no film on you, and it's the what the opponent doesn't know. But once there's film on you, he's going to slow down a little bit. And who knows? He's probably not going to start. I don't even think he'll get drafted in the first round. I think he's setting himself up by showing up. But, no, I want to see Milroe for one game. I want that Joe Milton effect that he had against the Buffalo Bills, and they played none of their starters, but everyone is in love with him. And I understand why it looks good. But I want to see Milroe or just one of these quarterbacks who aren't the number 1, number 2 get a start and go crazy.
Have a crazy. You got a Will Howard out there.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe. Should we throw in Jackson Dart? I think he might go around 20 or so. But yeah, I'd like to see that. A day 2, day 3 quarterback have a great start.
Yep.
I'd love to see, and this is in part inspired by how electric the Padres' start to the season has felt. I would just love to see a small market absolutely take off. I'd love to see it happen this year. I think. Last year between the Yankees and Dodgers, we all joked. Everyone outside of those markets joked like, oh, it's just a battle of bullies here.
Right.
Like, it's just the biggest markets, the most successful teams, the biggest spenders. And I think it's incredibly rare that even when small markets try to spend, that they can keep up. I think what the Padres are doing right now is fun. I don't know if it lasts. Tough division to get through. Good luck with that. But I think it would be fun to see. Like, I think it would be fun to see a small market do a lot of damage this year.
That would be fun. I like when the underdogs do their thing. But I also am hoping for my Dodgers to win 117. I want to see them do it. I really do. They got the roster.
I don't think
start
anyone's
off
ever
hot.
gonna do
They
it.
fell off a little bit, but it's all good. I would love to see the Dodgers get 117. I was golfing with this dude on Saturday, some random dude, and he's like, "Who are your teams?" I go, "Well, they're the Mariners and the Seahawks, but I grew up a Dodger." And he looked at me with so much disgust on his face, and I go, "I love it. I love it."
You're
Keep
like,
looking
fine,
at me
I'll be a
crazy."
villain.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm like, "Who's your team?" You know what he said?
Who?
The Red Sox. I'm like,
Wow.
You're talking right now?
Pot meat kettle.
You talking right now. The Red Sox?
Oh,
All
shut
right, buddy.
up. Curtis, what's something you really want to see this year? Something a little like, yeah, we'd all love to see the Mariners win a World Series, but something just around sports where you're like, yeah, I really do want to see this.
I don't want to see Lakers win a championship, but I do want to see Luka Doncic win the NBA Finals.
Okay.
Just for it to blow up in Dallas's face even more. And I think I could definitely see that happening. Also, it would prevent Oklahoma City winning an NBA title, which I think is the
more
second.
what you don't want to see.
Yeah, I think that is the one thing I do not want to see more than anything in sports this season is Oklahoma City with a parade. I mean, they won 68 games during the regular season. That's one of the best regular seasons of all time.
Yeah.
So they clearly have the potential to win a championship this season, but hopefully somebody in that Western Conference, hopefully it's bumps Lakers or somebody else knocks off OKC before they get to the finals.
One thing we always talk about, something that I want to see when it comes to Felix's time in Seattle is, wow, what a shame that the Mariners had one of the most dominant pitchers in football for a period of time. He had a perfect game. We're talking about Cy Young, and you couldn't come away with playoff appearances.
Yeah.
I do think that at the very least you have those individual accolades to walk away with. I want to see a Mariners pitcher get a no-hitter. Like, I want to see a starter get a no-hitter this year. Maybe even like Logan Gilbert, if I'm being like, if I have to pick and choose. I just think like, look, I'm not optimistic the Mariners are going to win a World Series here. But can we reward the thing that you're doing well? Like the guys that are showing up and knocking it out of the park, no pun intended, because they're pitchers. I would love to see that rewarded with recognition, with Cy Young attention, with a no-hitter, with something that they can add on and be like, look, we ended up, getting passed by someone else in the postseason, but man, what a season for, I don't know, Gilbert, fill in the blank.
Yeah. I got one more.
Yeah.
I want to see a wide receiver win the MVP. All right, we had Cooper Kupp, who was a Triple Crown winner and didn't do it. And that's the only way you can even be considered an MVP at the White House spot is you have to win the Triple Crown, but you got to go for like 2,000. And it's possible with 17 games now.
Oh, the text line ripped me apart because I said most dominant pitcher in football. Look, I'm heading into hour 4 of a 3-hour show or 4-hour show.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either. You just got to deal with it. This is just what happens. We had a lot of baseball ones.
Baseball?
Mostly
I want to see somebody hit 75 bombs.
It's not going to happen this year.
How do you know?
It's just not. And you know what? For the record,
I
I don't think 117 is going to happen this year. Because I don't think that same Mariners team would get 116 again. I think that's a record.
Such an outlier.
I think that's a record that's going to stand.
Think about how long baseball's been around and how many teams have played.
Yes.
It's been around since the 1800s.
You guys just don't have a team that has the ability to do it.
We're the last team to do it.
We're the last team to do it, Bob.
You were. How'd that work out? I'm a Mariner fan. Stop it, Michael.
I don't want to talk about it. Why'd you do that?
I like the Mariners.
Why did you do that? Why'd you take us there? Big Ray Roberts joining us next.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans? With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
The Arbor Day Foundation is launching the largest corporate tree distribution program in its history. Dan Lamb, CEO of the Arbor Day Foundation, has more.
Trees are vital to our communities both now and in the future. Each year, we lose 36 million trees due to age, disease, pests, and severe weather. That's why it's essential to plant mature and regionally appropriate trees. A mature tree acts as a powerhouse for clean air, absorbing over 48 pounds of carbon dioxide annually while releasing oxygen.
To tackle this issue, the Arbor Day Foundation has partnered with Subaru for the Subaru Loves the Earth initiative, providing 100,000 trees across the U.S.
More than 600 participating Subaru retailers will give away established, ready-to-plant trees across communities nationwide. This initiative supports the Arbor Day Foundation's work to plant trees in communities that need them most, helping to protect the planet for generations to come.
For more information on the Subaru Loves the Earth initiative, visit Subaru.com/earth.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through April 20th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code GROW. Swishradio.com, code GROW. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is The Lee Johnson Auto family.
We at Three Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. Three Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Playing games tonight, you got the Heat taking on the Bulls at 4:30. Mavs taking on the Kings at 7. Mariners get another shot at the Reds this afternoon after dropping game 1 of the series. Bryce Miller on the mound against Nick Martinez. First pitch at 3:40 p.m. Pregame starts at 2:30 right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross. Here we go now.
Big Ray Roberts joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Big Ray, how's it going?
I'm just chilling like a villain. You know me.
Oh, fantastic. We, Bump and I were feeling a little kind of nostalgic, like having a fun conversation about football. We're kind of drafted out, if that makes sense. Like we've done and I'm sure you are too. Like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, let's talk about what they can do. And then you go a couple hours and you're like, I love sports, but I want to have a different conversation. So we thought, who better to reach out to than someone who not only played many years but has lots of great stories and is always fun to talk to about everything under the sun. And I am going to start with a nostalgic question. It's one that I love talking with Wyman about, and I'm sure if both of you were here, you guys could go for 20 minutes. What about football do you genuinely think this was better and I miss it? Like you wish you could magically bring back to the game?
Oh, that you could magically bring back to the game.
Yeah, like you feel like it's gone from today's game.
Violence.
Well, I think it's kind of coming back a little bit, and Bump has just kind of mentioned it a little bit. It's just the violence and physicality in the trenches. Like it's become such a pass-happy league, and guys are more athletic and the quarterbacks are dynamic, and I get all of that, but the reason I played football is because it was like an organized fight. You get to beat the hell out of somebody, and they pat you on the back and tell you, great job. And the more you do it, the more pats on the back. And then next thing you know, you get an opportunity to play college football. Then the next you keep doing it, and you get paid to do it. So it's like that part of it, to me, is what I kind of miss. I don't know how to explain it other than when you're an offensive lineman and there's two things that happen. When you hit a dude so hard that you can kind of hear them go like, ugh, like you hear like the air go out of their body, like it's a great thing. And so it doesn't matter if you're blocking the defensive end or the defensive tackle or you're smashing a linebacker on a pole or something other like that. And then the other thing is, and this is the weird one, and I haven't used it in a long time, is the whole snot bubbles thing. Like when you hit someone so hard that there's like snot on your face mask, and you don't really know if it's yours or his. You just know that there was a dynamic collision that happened. And you just don't get to see those things anymore. And, a lot of it is the safety and keeping your head out of things and, try not to get concussions. And I get all of that. But, man, that is what drew me to the game, is that I could be that. That's why I didn't, I was a basketball player in high school too. And people would say, like, well, why didn't you play basketball? I'm like, because I fouled out. Like, I would just hit people too much. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to hit people. And so that's the one thing, if I could bring something back to football and it still be safe and all that kind of stuff, I get it. It would just be the physicality and the violence in the trenches.
Do you see anybody on this offensive line that can play with that violence? And do you think that this Kubiak offense will allow it?
Well, I know for sure that Abe Lucas can. Charles Cross can when he's locked in. Like the way he started out the season last year, the first 3 or 4 games, this dude was physically trying to drive people's backs into the dirt. And then somewhere in the middle of the season, it's almost like he may have gotten burned by a couple of those types of blocks, and so he kind of backed off a little bit, and then he kind of finished strong. Whereas Lucas, that's just who he is. He's a dude that just wants to really, hit people hard, drive them in the dirt, push the pile, all that kind of stuff. Some of the other guys, I think, because they come from a lot of those pass-heavy offenses and things, it's really hard to then get to the league and learn how to finish those types of blocks and play with that type of mentality, because you haven't done it. And then 2, you can't finish blocks in practice anymore. There's such little contact, you don't learn how to finish blocks. And to me, that's an issue. The teams that can figure out how to do that and then run the football, they tend to run the football really well. The teams that can't figure out how to make that happen tend to not run the ball well.
Hey, Ray, I got a weird question. We were just talking, obviously, about like what you miss from back in the day. And I think that some people, I don't know if you believe this, but it's why I'm asking. I think some people look at how college football and sports have changed, and they think that in addition to rules of the game just being different, that maybe a generation is different, and that NIL money and the way that college sports kind of operate almost makes it worse. What do you think about it? Are you like, I don't think money makes a difference in the character of guys coming into the league, or do you think it softens people, it makes them selfish? I don't know. What do you think about the way college football changes and what it means for the product we see in the NFL?
Well, to me, like, money doesn't change people to me. Money can either amplify who you already were, or it exposes you even more as to who you were. If you were soft to begin with, you're going to be soft with money or without it. Yeah. I mean, it's to me that if you played hard and like was working hard and outworking everybody and out hustling everybody and all that kind of stuff before you had money, you're probably going to keep doing it when you have the money. I'm not a big believer in that money changes that people that much. I do think it sometimes changes people around you more than it changes the person. Now, does it change some people? Absolutely. Like, it's not a zero-sum situation. But the way the game has moved, the recency bias to me is incredible. I can remember signing my contract, coming into the Seahawks locker room, and Jacob Green, who was probably our best player at the time, was still with us. They hadn't traded him yet, and he just kept staring at me. And I'm like, why is this dude like staring at me like this? Like, what's going down? And he came up to me and goes like, man, like, you're like the highest paid dude in the locker room, and I've been at this thing for 10 years or whatever it is, And so that thing about the money has changed throughout the history of the sport.
Yeah.
And so people will forget that, like, the money that they were making was a lot of money compared to the money the dudes are making before them. Look at the guys that play with no face masks. The money, like, we had to go through hell and high water just to get them benefits that we have now. So people forget about that kind of stuff because they just get caught up in the moment. So yeah, the money's big and it has changed, the way that college sports is, but change is going to happen. It ain't going to stay the same. And I'm not saying that it's changing for the better, but change is change. Like even the things that changed when we were playing, when I was playing, I'm sure there were, like, people will tell me like, oh man, the kids these days are so soft. You know what my dad used to tell me? Man, kids these days are so soft. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing.
My dad would be like, I walked 3 miles to school every day in 4 inches of snow up and down every hill. It's like, no, you did not. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do that. It doesn't snow like that around here. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they would say. You know, and so like, and then you start saying like, well, this generation is soft. Well, who are the parents? Like, who are the parents of the people that were the generation before talking about everybody's so tough? Then what happened in the translation between your toughness and you parenting a kid that now you're calling soft? Like, it's like, so it's really interesting to me how people, bring that stuff up and talk about it and just get caught up in the moment and don't look at it historically.
Ray, we were making wishes, I guess you can say, or something we hope to see. And I said in the 2025 season, and mine was, I hope I see a receiver win MVP. Not going to happen, but I would love to see that. Is there something you would love to see this year?
You know what? I would love to see, other storylines other than quarterbacks. Like, it's like, I get it. They drive the league. People play, want to watch them. But there's some great players at other positions. Like, think about like a Devin Witherspoon. Like, if this dude it's a dynamic player and a dynamic personality, but we don't, he's not plastered all over. I don't know if it's as glorified a position as quarterback, but there's so many stories in our league and on our teams that we get stuck on the one story that gets us to the debate of who's the greatest and all this other kind of stuff, which is another whole story. But there's just so many other people in our league and personalities in different positions that are unbelievable people playing unbelievable football, doing unbelievable things off the field, impacting the game in unbelievable ways that you just kind of get. I get quarterbacked out. Like, I get tired of talking about them. I get tired of comparing them. I get tired of figuring out who's, like, for 3 weeks it was Josh Allen's MVP to lose. Then for 4 weeks it was Lamar's. And then for 2 weeks it was the dude at Cincinnati. And it's just like, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to hear about somebody else doing some other great stuff.
Yeah, it was funny. Bump and I were just talking off air about, granted, this is almost a defense of quarterbacks, but we were just talking off air about how often people attribute wins and losses almost directly to a quarterback. And it's like, okay, but think of how many mediocre quarterbacks or fine starters were heading up really talented teams. You know what I mean? Like, why attribute a win in football especially, to any one position, even if it has, quarterback touches the ball more often than, one of his wide receivers would. But still, it feels silly to say, oh, this guy that had 14 wins was clearly the best quarterback in the league last year. Really?
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is along with that is the quarterback versus quarterback thing. They don't play against each other. You can be a great quarterback and have a terrible defense, and the other quarterback wins the game, and somehow you've lost to him.
Right.
Like, it's like that's really strange to me that they would do that. But they don't go like, hey, well, Charles Cross is 4-0 versus Aaron Donald. It's like they play against each other the same amount of times, and there's a one-loss record, and Aaron Donald can impact the game just as much as a quarterback can. And the left tackle can impact the game just as much too, because you can give up sacks or you can create more time for the quarterback to throw. And so the way that they create narratives around making the quarterback like the CEO thing, which is there's so many things about this conversation, like, because then they become the de facto leader, and many of them don't even know how to lead. Like like leadership is a whole other issue in our culture around what is leadership and what's not leadership. And so a guy becomes a starter, and all of a sudden he has to be the leader of the team, at quarterback. So it's just a lot of different things like that just drive the narrative to make that position the number one position and the most important one. And sometimes I don't know that it is. Is it important? Absolutely. Most of the times, is it the most important? Maybe. But you can have some other teams built around some other, attributes that can really lift up a quarterback too.
Well, and I wonder if, Ray, part of it is like it's easiest to figure out what a quarterback's doing, what he's supposed to do, and where he makes a mistake and what looks good. I could not, as someone who's never played, tell you, like, if someone was like, did that center have a great game or a bad game? Unless it was really obvious, I could not tell you. And I've been a reporter for 10 years. You know what I mean? It's so hard for someone who hasn't played to gauge what is amazing guard play. What is a great tight end play? Like, unless a receiver drops a pass or gets completely burned on a route, it's hard to tell how almost every other position should be excelling or what their responsibility should look like.
Yeah, and to me, Stacy, then you just have to come with a huge jar of humility and know what you don't know.
Yep.
And there's too many people that think they know. And there's a quote that says, the problem is thinking that you know and being convicted by it when it's not true. Yeah. And so there's a lot of people that do that. They think they know, and they go like, oh, well, this offensive line sucks because of this, or that player, this tackle sucks because of that. And they have not one clue how to teach someone how to block a zone block. They don't even have a clue what the technique is to pass block. They don't even know how difficult it is to be moving backwards, blocking probably one of the greatest athletes on the field at the same time. But they're going to make a huge judgment call on a person's ability to play that way. Or the thing that drives me crazy now is all the data. And it's like, oh, well, the RAS thing. This dude has the highest RAS score since 1987. It's like, well, in 1987, nobody was training for the freaking combine this way. Like when I went to the combine, I didn't even know what drills they were going to run.
Right.
Like you had no idea. Like it was like my strength coach was calling around just trying to get secrets about, hey, what are the drills they're going to do so we can, like, nobody knew what drills you were going to run when you got there. And so you didn't even train for it. So you didn't train for the 4-cone drill. You didn't train for I never trained to run a 40-yard dash. I just got there, showed up, and ran.
Wait, so you showed up for a drill, and they were like, "This is what you're going to do," and like showed you how to do it, and you just had to do it there.
They would show it to you, and then all of us, like, they had the 4-cone drill, bump where you kind of sprint up, shuffle, karaoke, backpedal, like that stuff around the 4 cones.
Yep.
And like they would demonstrate it. Everybody would get a chance to kind of walk through it, and then you'd have to do it for a time. Like I didn't know we were going to do that. I had never even seen the drill before. When I got there. And so when you try to make these comparisons of like, oh, this guy has this score and it's the best score since 1987. It's like, well, shit, like nobody was even thinking about the combine that way. Like we didn't even run that many drills at the combine.
Yeah.
Like we probably ran 3 or 4 drills. That was it. Took physical, did the bench press, 40 left. That was it. And now they're there for freaking 2.5 days, it seems like, just one position. So some of the data and stuff is just so like misconstrued and things, just so that they can have another data point. And then the thing that frustrates me with that is like podcast all you want, talk all you want, cover all you want, but just know what you don't know. Like have some humility about it. And just because you can interpret the data doesn't mean that you know football. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the day, you can either play football or you can't. It's like, it's not, you can have every measurable in the world, and it happens all the time, and then you put the dude on the field and the dude can't bust a grape. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he can't. Aaron Curry, like great dude, coached here for a long time, was the can't-miss draft pick in that draft, and he was probably one of the biggest misses in the entire draft. And he graded off the chart. Data ran, all this other kind of stuff. Athletic is all get out.
And he knew what they would do at the combine.
Yeah.
He had that advantage.
And so it's just like, it's some of this stuff I don't know, I get a little bit frustrated with it because there's other parts of it too. You get these folks that say athletes should just shut up and play, but everybody in the world and their mom thinks they know sports and think they can talk about it. And because they have a mic in front of their face, then they should, you can't criticize them about it when you say you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So it's a lot of stuff like that just kind of gets me fired up. And so sometimes, like, I have to take a break, from social media and just kind of let people do what they're doing. But sometimes, you know how it is, Bump. I have time. And
I got time today.
You had time today.
I got time today.
Right, there's 2 things I want to say to you before, one is that going off to your comment, can they play ball? I legit used to sit around with my boys and we'd be doing scout team, or we're scouting the other team in college, and my coach would pull up all of these numbers and stuff. And as a joke, I would say this, but I meant it. I was like, can he ball though? Like, can he ball? Like he's fast, he's tall, his weight, can he ball? And then the last thing I want to leave you with is that one of my favorite things to do is watch film from the end zone and call out the pass pro. Where is it a 2-man, a 3-man slide, and try to keep further my education like that, because even me as an analyst, if I had to pick a weak point of my game, it's obviously in the trenches. So like every week, every few days in a week, I just watch nothing but end zone, and I try to work through the calls and stuff with these offensive linemen. So I would encourage a lot of folks, man, if you don't know the game like Big Ray is talking about, there's something called YouTube. And there are the guys who know what they're talking about and will sit you down. But it takes work, though. That's the thing, Big Ray. It takes work.
Yeah.
You're not just going to pick up pass pro and, how the blocking scheme and all that stuff in the run game. It takes some work, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a play I diagnosed last year for, I think, the Hawk Blogger. And it was a play where there was a down block on the right side, and then I think Tomlinson, this may have been the year before, but the left guard was pulling to the right, and they got tackled in the backfield. And so they're just like, oh my gosh, like, the play design was bad, or the pulling guard missed his block, or da-da-da. But what really happened was that the right guard, who was blocking down on the nose guard, needed to take a 6-inch step towards the nose guard, but he didn't. He stepped underneath himself, so that allowed the nose guard to get penetration, knocked the backside guard off the block, who ran into the running back, and then the running back got tackled in the backfield.
Right.
And so it's like, you don't see that 6-inch step, which could be the entire difference between a negative 4-yard play and a freaking 40-yard touchdown. Like there were 2 plays, I think last year early in the season, where K9 could have had at least 50-yard touchdown, and because one player was off his mark by 6 inches or less, the play got blown up for a negative gain or just a minimal gain. And so people that watch offensive line that don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so it's interesting if you can absorb that and just, like I said, have humility and going, man, I don't know. I can have a comment about it, but to be so convicted about a player or a play call or, whatever it is, because you just think that you think sometimes that gets you in trouble.
He is Big Ray Roberts, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Big Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
Absolutely, anytime. And Bump, if you want to, watch some of that end zone film together, we can do that, brother.
Most definitely, I'm down.
Oh, that's above my pay grade. I'm going to sit that one out.
All right.
Bye, Ray.
Yeah.
Ray's the best, man. Like, I knew that, like, we could take a draft break and just ask Ray everything under the sun. Like, I had more questions where I was like, oh, we don't have time for this. But, like, I could sit and listen to Ray just talk to nobody for, like, an hour about, like, who's the best player you've ever played with? What's the most violent, engagement you've ever been in with another player? Like, was there a player you hated, a team you hated? I loved his take, too. I know that we ended by saying, like, look, it's so easy for people to look at a quarterback and for the quarterback to capture attention, and a lot of people don't know how to evaluate anything else, which is true.
No. You always got to keep learning, man. Like,
yeah.
I literally sit there, I draw boxes, I look at film, I ask certain questions to certain people. Like, I can tell you how to run a zone and how to run it against an odd front, an even front, bare front, but there's always some other way of doing it, and there's always some other way of explaining it. And that's what I just encourage fans to do. Like, if you're going to have a strong opinion, like on the text lines, they be having some strong opinions, and it's emotional. Like, forget emotion. Get emotion out of it. Like, if you want to have a strong opinion, it has to come with research and knowledge. So, but that's what Twitter's for, man. People just say what they want.
My absolute favorite thing, though, about hearing from guys like Ray or like you or Wyman is everyone I know who has given the most, like, listener-friendly. Like, if you've never played football, right? I've been a reporter for 10 years. I've never played football. The gap between what I think I know and what you guys know is vast. Like, you could fit a city inside of it. But, like, I have found the most reader-friendly explanations from former players because they aren't trying to act like they're better than. Like, at no point have I asked you or Wyman or Brock a question and had you guys try to overcomplicate it, because that's not how you guys talk to each other about it. So you'll just say, well, here's what this means. And I found that version of it to be so much more refreshing, and I'm so glad that we had Ray on. Like, if we asked Ray, what do people think of wide zone is, and, you know, what did they get wrong at? Like, if we just asked him, like, just some random basic questions, I guarantee you he could make an average listener understand it. It's, let's say, but I think our average listener would, but, like, someone that maybe had no idea.
Yeah. And then also there's NFL Red Zone. That's where you can watch the All-22. Like, once you've watched YouTube and you've gotten the language down and what the concepts are, now you take it over to NFL Red Zone, watch the All-22, and, like, kind of test yourself and see if you look up a zone play and see if you can predict where the guard's supposed to go, where the tackle's supposed to go. It's like, it is. And that's how I tell my boys when they ask me questions and stuff. I go, look, here's a guy who will teach you what it is on YouTube, and now you go test yourself with this All-22, and the game will change for you. I promise you.
Or you can also tweet at Bump, tweet at Ray.
Yep.
Ask those questions. Hey, Bump, I just watched this clip. Here's what I saw.
Yep.
What do you see here? And maybe they point something out, and you're like, yeah, you're right. I noticed this and this. So it's always fun. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Game 2 between the Mariners and Reds. Pregame starts at 2:30 p.m. First pitch at 3:40 right here on Seattle Sports. Talking Kraken with the Seattle Times' Kate Shefte next.
The Cal Raleigh Show.
Belted way out of here to right field. Holy smokes.
Every Thursday with Shannon Dreyer on Wyman and Bob.
Seattle has been nothing but good to me. I would love nothing more to play for one team my whole career.
Listen live on the Seattle Sports app or find the video on YouTube.
Cal Raleigh with a walk-off home run.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
47,000 fans are going crazy.
The American Band, the legendary Grand Funk Railroad, is rolling into Muckleshoot Event Center Wednesday, August 6th, with special guest Jefferson Starship. Don't miss this night of classic rock that defined a generation. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com. Grand Funk Railroad with special guest Jefferson Starship. Only at Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordable.washington.org.
Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
4 down territory. Going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, talking Kraken with Seattle Times reporter Kate Shefte joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook hotline. Kate, you've had a busy day. Some exit interviews being conducted. How's it going out there?
Pretty good. I'm watching Chandler Stevenson walk up the sidewalk with his gear bag and a bundle full of sticks as we speak. They're heading out today after, another disappointing season.
Disappointing season. I'm going to start with the Ron Francis news. We will get to, obviously, the tone of some of those interviews. Ron Francis sticking for another year. You and a couple other reporters mentioning no one was overly surprised, but certainly the tone from fans was one of frustration. Tell me a bit about why you weren't surprised at all by the news, why you think they did it, and what people are frustrated about with Francis.
I think the sense I've gotten just being on the internet is that it seems like everyone is kind of looking for a big move for some, and like last summer, I think we talked about this. The signings they made were big. They were splashy. They were long term. They signed Stevenson, who we just referenced, and Brandon Montour, but they signed a defenseman for an already very stacked defense and a center who isn't known for really scoring a whole lot. So it was kind of like, okay, well they did it, but did they do what they needed? And I think fans are looking for just movement, just any signs of life, and it's just kind of they're even worse than they were last year, and that's from a fan perspective, you have to be like, okay, well you spent all this money, what'd you spend it on? But I was not surprised. I've seen that coming. That's just been kind of the tone. They management kind of came out and kind of defended Francis and there were rumors in January when CEO Todd Lewicki showed up on a road trip, which he doesn't usually do, and he said it was his birthday, and he decided to go to Buffalo for his birthday, and everyone was like, oh, all right, and he was he just went to go hang out, and he wasn't there to fire anybody, and that everyone kind of. They kind of came out and were like, pump the brakes. He's our guy. We have faith in him, and we want to see this through. And he has the trust of ownership. And like every like kind of public statement that has been coming out since about January has been very supportive of Francis and his leadership. So I don't think they would do that. They wouldn't do that if they were planning on carrying him. So when he kind of said it yesterday, it did not surprise me at all.
Kate, I have a theory. You let me know what you think about it. Okay. I think that the organization is allowing Ron Francis to kind of reset, because when you start, an expansion team, a new franchise, you're starting from scratch, and you go through a few years and you try to figure out what direction you want to go, what works for you, what type of players you need, and then you collect a few young players and you're saying, all right, well, we exceeded expectations that second year, got everyone hyped up, and then kind of regressed a bit. Let's use these 2025, 2026 picks that you got through via, Yanni and all the guys, and let's start all over. Do you think that's what's going on here?
I actually think it's quite the opposite, weirdly. Lewicki came out recently, went on KJR. I don't know. Are we allowed to talk about other radio stations on here?
How dare you?
Bleep that out. Dare you? He told them this is not a reset, straight up, or not not reset, something like that. It was along those lines. Like, this is not a, don't call this a start over. It's just that I think that they're afraid a little bit of having to admit that they got to go back to the starting board, and they hope they don't have to, and they hope that they can just kind of tweak it. And that's been a message a lot in the exit interviews. Everyone thinks that they're close and that they just need a few tweaks, and they'll be this consistent playoff team that they want to be. And it's a little hard for me to grasp when there's so much that went wrong, and no one can even point to like, oh, if you just get your power play together, or oh, if you just, it's a lot of different things that went wrong this season. So it's kind of like, are they close? I don't know, but I don't think that they're trying to go back to the drawing board. I think they are earnestly trying to make what they have work, the core that they have, the long-term contracts they have, and just use that draft capital to add a couple pieces this summer, kind of like they did last year, but better.
That feels so misguided. So I remember, this offseason, everyone was complaining about the Mariners. Jerry DiPoto came out and basically was like, well, the last month of offense was pretty solid. And, our home splits versus road, if you take out the road, there was just a way that people felt like Jerry was intentionally spinning it. But even then, you could go, well, they might have the best 1 through 5 in baseball. You could kind of see things and go, he may have a point that if they make 1 or 2 additions, they're pretty close. I don't get the point with the Kraken. I mean, my next question for you was literally going to be, well, what's the silver lining building piece that they have? Not what's the piece they need?
Yeah, it is. There's so many comparisons to the Mariners. I keep trying to pitch a crossover episode between Kraken and Mariners.
I would love it.
Seattle Times coverage, because so many of it's the hitting with the Mariners, it's the offense with the Kraken, and there's a lot of parallels there, and they too were very much better and really playing like Dan Bylsma's hockey that he wanted from game 1, but it took until after the trade deadline, when they were way out of it, for them to kind of start playing it. And they are very proud of their play when they were already out of it. And the last 6 weeks have been very good. The results still weren't there, but comparatively they were really good. Let's say that. And it's just, as far as the pieces they have, Shane Wright is a true highlight of this season. He scored 19 goals. He had as many points as Matty Beniers, who's making $7 million. He played without the consistency of Matty Beniers. Beniers played more than half the season on the same line. Shane Wright played with almost everybody. This is his first full NHL season, and he was very promising. And I think he's showing signs of being exactly who they wanted him to be, who they thought they were getting with the 4th overall pick. And there were a couple, here and there, like bright spots, certainly. But overall, there's just, today you keep asking, like, what do you need to do to get better? And they're just like, boy, what don't we need to do?
Let me unroll this list.
Yeah, and it's hard to be like, okay, well, yeah, they're just a few signings away when nothing went right, really, except for right. Had to.
Yes.
It's really tough when kids out there like, I'm sorry.
I love it.
No, we'll allow it.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I love it. So how are these young pieces developing? I mean, what's missing? What have they improved on? Just a little progress report on these guys.
Oh, the young guys. It was definitely an up and down and up then down season for Riker Evans, their young defenseman. He was really very good through about January, and the second half has not been as kind to him. Beniers, it was kind of on par with his sophomore season, and I'm sure they would like to see more out of him, but you really can't call him out without calling everybody out, because it was just a down year for almost everybody. The Capo Caco, who they picked up in December, is in a deal with the New York Rangers for Will Borgen. He was a good pickup. He really kind of found his groove, found his confidence that was lacking in New York, and he will be a good complementary piece for this team going forward if they can re-sign him. He's a restricted free agent this summer, but all signs point to they'll make it work.
Yeah.
And they've got a really good and a guy who's tearing it up in the WHL playoffs right now, Berkeley Catton, their number 8 overall pick last summer. And there's already buzz that he's going to make the lineup in the fall. He has had a heck of a season. He's still very young. He's a teenager, but there's a chance he could have another Shane Wright season or better next season if he makes it and if he sticks. So the kids are certainly a reason to be optimistic, but they have a lot they need to consider this summer for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. She is Kate Shefte, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Make sure you're reading her work at Seattle Times, seattletimes.com. Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Thank you.
See ya. What I Need to Know is coming your way next. Get your questions in to the Mac and Jack's text line. That was a good one by Kate. I can appreciate a random pun and joke, a bad joke.
It's a dad joke.
That's a dad joke.
Yeah.
Kate fits right in. 866-979-3776. Get your questions in now.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans?
With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
And this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Lonnie. Lonnie, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
We've been with the same insurance company for over 32 years. And my husband said, come on, let's at least try it. And that was the smartest thing we ever did because we saved thousands, literally thousands a year on our insurance. They improved it. It cost me less, and it was a higher value. I can't say enough good things about Scott because everything that he said he'd do, he did.
What do you tell your friends they can expect when they make the call to First Mark?
An easy, profitable, and actually pleasant call. They genuinely are trying to help you, and you can't beat that. We were silly to wait so long. A couple other friends that have called, too, they said, why didn't you tell us about this sooner?
You see, Lonnie did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible from surgery to different drugs to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the Mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
The future is here. So why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Bob Stelton here for Asset Roofing, and they have got the perfect slogan. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset, and I witnessed this firsthand when I met Anthony, the owner, and again when I had him do work on my roof. Now this spring, replace your aging roof with Asset Roofing because you're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Check them out at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. Saturday night, May 10th. Experience the thrill of live MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, and kickboxing. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this exciting mixed martial arts event. The World Fighting Championships, May 10th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. So one of my favorite customers I've ever had, he came in and had a really bad experience with several different dealerships. He just lost his husband. His husband left him with a truck, and he was like, I don't need a truck. Like, this is so impractical for me. And it was a really emotional decision for him because it was one of the last things that he had, obviously husbands. We were like, it's no problem. Like, we're going to help you. And we did the process the same way that we always do the process. And we helped him trade in his truck for a beautiful new Rogue. And that was really cool. And he bought his second car from us. And I'm sure when he needs a third car, he'll come back and buy his third car from Nissan too. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff.
Making a great day for the people around you is making a great day for yourself. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's what I need to know. Get your question, any question you have top of mind right now. Text it to the Mac and Jacks text line, 866-979-3776. Bump, you've been trying to dodge this question from a listener, but they sent it in, and this time I saw it. What I need to know. You already know what it is. Bump, if the Mariners and Dodgers played the last game of the season, and the Dodgers were one game away from having a new record for most wins in a single season, but the Mariners were one game away from getting into the playoffs, who would you want to win the game?
This is easy. Not even a hard question. It's the Mariners.
Yes,
Because at least we tied the record at 116.
Yeah.
Pat ourselves on the back.
And you have enough.
the Mariners get in.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that means the Dodgers are already in. So, I saw the question. I just didn't get back to it.
Yeah.
It's not that hard of a question.
Also, I can't stress enough. I rank how easy it is for me to do my job over almost anything. The teams being better makes it easier for you to do your job.
Yeah.
I will always root. It's not even like a selfish kind of like fandom. It's like, no, this job is so easy when the team is in the playoffs.
Yeah, for real.
Infinitely so.
Balling.
I will always root for that. Same with the Seahawks. Like every win, I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay, the season goes on a little bit longer. Like it's just more fun. It's more engaging. More people love talking about it. They love hearing about it. They get excited. There's more topics. Oh my God. It's not fun being in the middle. Either you're so bad that you get to talk about a number 1 overall pick and then have a conversation about a franchise quarterback. Or, in baseball, you talk about tanking or hiring people. Or you're so great that you're talking about the playoffs. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. You're starting a brand new podcast. Congratulations. Here's the thing. It's not sports related. You have to have someone from one of the other 2 shows as a co-host. You cannot choose me, even though I would be the best.
Of course.
What is your podcast about, and who's your co-host?
Dave Wyman, stay the heck off our lawn.
Wow.
Easy.
That's a great podcast that I would listen to.
Is it about lawn care?
A little bit. Dave does love gardening. It's just two football dudes, old school guys, complaining about things. Everything. Every single thing. What do you think Dave's Get Off My Lawn would be about?
It'd probably be something like people who don't put their blinkers on and give the drivers behind you advance time.
I know what he'd complain about.
What?
Kickers and punters being Pro Bowlers.
That too.
He'd say, "What'd you do to be a Pro Bowler?" Do you know what someone who's a linebacker has to do to be a Pro Bowler compared to someone who's a kicker?
See, those are the easy ones. So I want the real life experiences with Dave.
Yeah. I want to know the last random person Dave got really mad at and why. I'd love to know.
He's got some good bar fight stories.
What?
He's got some.
Wait, why am I
ones.
shocked? I take that back. Why did any part of me sound shocked?
He's got some good.
Well, I want to hear one of them.
He's been throwing bows in bars for years.
While he was a player?
Yeah.
This is the crazy thing about Twitter and the internet not really existing. When did the internet exist?
90s.
Okay, so
Mid
maybe
to late 90s.
Being in its infancy is you could have an NFL player get into a fight with someone at a bar and no one would know.
Nope.
So Michael Jordan probably could not have done what he did off the court in nowadays because people would be seeing him out in casinos all the time.
Someone said people that don't pick up their dog blank in his yard is probably what he'd be
Moyer
complaining
just
about.
texted me. Dogs peeing on his lawn gets him mad. People that drive too fast through his neighborhood. Dave is just grumpy. He'll complain about everything.
Oh, I love it. 866-979-3776. Will, I think they mean Shooter Sanders, compete for a championship this year? No, the Sounders. Will Saunders. There was no okay, I misread it. Will the Sounders compete for a championship this year? They've looked so bad so far this season. I know how to read, I swear.
Are you sure?
No.
Yeah, they're competing. I believe that we will win.
Yeah, if you ask Bump to predict any kind of outcome, he'll go on vibes alone.
All vibes.
We could ask, will the 1-14 Seahawks find a way to magically make it to the playoffs? He'd be like, look,
listen,
you're 1-0 every week. Let's see. 866-979-3776. What I need to know, will the Hawks be smart to go after? Would it be smart for the Hawks to go after Jalen Ramsey?
I said it and poured down yesterday. Leave it alone. $21 million you got to pick up for the year. You got about $36 million in cap space. Go young in the draft and build that way.
I'm not kidding. 5 people at least have texted me that Dave gets fired up about his lawn and his yard.
Yeah, he's real about that.
Every single person.
We'll mix it in. We'll mix in lawn care advice with now stay off it.
Yeah. Someone said Cinnamon Toast Crunch ? Best ever?
Hands down.
Really?
Hands down.
Of all the cereals?
All of them, Craig.
All of the cereals?
All of them, Craig.
What's number 2?
Stacy's gonna probably pick honey bunches of oats.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Special
No, I would not. No, I would not. No,
cereals.
no. Those are good cereals. I used to love Cocoa Puffs, Captain Crunch, peanut butter. Yeah, those are the two best for sure.
For me, it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops right there.
Do you guys remember honeycomb? I'm sure it's still a thing, but I don't know why I used to love honeycomb. And
sweet.
It was just an under the radar, like the fullback of cereals. Like it did its job. It was hearty, but no one really gave it the attention it deserved. That was honeycomb, and it was bomb.
I like that.
866-979-3776. They said Dave also loses his mind when people stop at a roundabout. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have to stop because there are other cars.
Yeah, incoming traffic.
Yeah.
What's the last traffic thing that made you lose your mind?
Last traffic thing. Probably just going slow in the fast lanes. Like, just get over. Just get over, please.
Oh, another one is when people are clearly lost, and instead of pulling over, they just decide to drive 2 miles per hour while they're figuring it out. And you're like, yo, you got a road of people behind you.
Yeah.
Another one is when people merge onto the freeway, but they entered it after you. So they're like merging to speed up past you, even though you're very clearly going like 65 miles an hour.
You know what, Stacy? I've seen you drive. You go about 50, 55.
No, I don't.
In the
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Stacy, I
That's
just
not true.
imagine this.
No.
I imagine her singing.
This is payback for
That's not
clippings in
true.
the sink.
No.
We go the same way, and Stacy is all the way
You
to the right. I
You
go
speed.
65, and I'm just dipping, and you're just la la la.
No,
la, la, la.
here's my thing. I don't intentionally drive 55 miles per hour. I drive safely. Never gotten a speeding ticket in my life.
You never lived.
B, I just pick a lane, and much like I do in all areas of life, I stay in it.
You stay in that
so
lane.
I pick the lane, and I do not leave the lane.
vouch for that.
Under no circumstances will I leave the lane. So if the person in front of me,
I get on 5, and
so
I'm
you're
dipping
just,
to the left.
That's the thing is I always see you pass me every day, and you're just like you just go around all these different cars, and I'm like, it's dangerous. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
The Cal Raleigh Show.
Belted way out of here to right field. Holy smokes.
Every Thursday with Shannon Dreyer on Wyman and Bob.
Seattle has been nothing but good to me. I would love nothing more to play for one team my whole career.
Listen live on the Seattle Sports app or find the video on YouTube.
Cal Raleigh with a walk-off home run.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
47,000 fans are going crazy.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Spring is here, and I know you want to look and feel your best as you head into this new season. Are you tired of the roller coaster of losing weight just to see it all come back again? Maybe you've heard about the new drugs but are concerned with the possible side effects, or you're taking weight loss drugs but also want to learn how to change your lifestyle for long-lasting results. We can help you. We have a team of health coaches that can support you every step of the way. Schedule your free 15-minute, no-pressure phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here with Ryan Roland Smith.
Thanks, Mike. I've been hearing for about 2 years now how you did the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan, and you lost a ton of weight. So I decided to see what the program was all about, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've lost 30 pounds, and my only regret is not starting sooner.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. It doesn't matter where you live. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
So I formed Davis Law Group about 30 years ago, and I would get, the same questions from people about what to do in the case of an accident. Do you need a lawyer? To the point where I decided that I would at least write a book which would answer the common questions that I would receive as a lawyer. Once I wrote my first book, it proved to be hugely popular. I decided to write then a series of books in different accident cases so that we could really teach people about their rights, how to protect them, and how to decide on whether they need a lawyer and what lawyer to hire. I've found in my career that having a client that is educated and knowledgeable about their particular type of case really helps the client and also usually ends up making the case or the claim more successful. To get your free copy of any of my Washington accident books, visit WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah, I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement. But you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call